I'm in the world but not of it. I praise God every day and I love it. I say what I want and I say what they want. I stand for the truth and what's right and they don't. Life is simple, it's no puzzle. Common sense will tell you not to wear a muzzle. Fear no evil, trust no people. When in doubt, shout, I'm a believer. I fear no man, though the world is broken. God, shine your light on me. I fear no man, though the world is broken. God, shine your light on me.
Everybody, the left, right, in the middle. Blame my parents because I've been this way since I was little. It used to be normal, now everybody praying to crystals. No wonder why it's so easy for the devil to trick you. They treat you like dogs, hitting muzzles all on your faces, forcing kids to wear them in schools. Doesn't this seem outrageous? They ban Bible scriptures on TikTok.
Let's go to Target! Let's go to Target! Keep the PlayStations! Let's go to Target!
I'm in the world but not of it. I praise God every day and I love it. I say what I want and I say what they want. I stand for the truth and what's right and they don't. Life is simple, it's no puzzle. Common sense will tell you not to wear a muzzle. Fear no evil, trust no people. When in doubt, shout, I'm a believer. I fear no man, though the world is broken. God, shine your light on me. I fear no man, though the world is broken. God, shine your light on me.
I offend everybody, the left, right, in the middle. Blame my parents because I've been this way since I was little. It used to be normal, now everybody praying to crystals. No wonder why it's so easy for the devil to trick you. They treat you like dogs, hitting muzzles all on your faces, forcing kids to wear them in schools. Doesn't this seem outrageous? They ban Bible scriptures on TikTok.
Let's go to Target! Let's go to Target! Keep the PlayStations! Let's go to Target!
Oh my God, I've been muted this whole time. What the? Okay, alright. I've been muted this whole time. My bad. Welcome to the show. It's Monday night, kicking the week off right. The Dreaded Conservative Show. We got a show for you guys tonight. The 3rd annual Halloween Dreaded Conservative episode. We'll spend a little bit of time talking about Kamala and Trump, the last-ditch efforts before the election. Kamala is getting backed by Beyonce. Trump is getting backed by Rogan, kind of. Israel's bombing the hell out of Gaza. It's gonna be World War III. Memes, reels, rapid fire. We're gonna go through all that stuff real fast, and then we're gonna spend a nice big chunk of the show on Halloween-related things. We're gonna skim over Halloween is not pagan, like we do every year. If you want to know more about why Halloween's not pagan, you'll have to go back and watch the last 2 Halloween shows, but we'll skim over it today. We'll talk about the origins of pumpkin carving, the origins of trick-or-treating, the origins of dressing up in funny costumes. And then, we're going to look into some of the darkest videos on YouTube. Thank you, Are You Crazy? I was muted. Some of the darkest videos on YouTube. Some of the darkest channels on YouTube. We're going to go to the dark corners of the YouTube world. Now cut the music. All right, let's get into this. News and politics first, as always. Let me take this mask off. I can't wear this. Gay. What kind of... You know what's gay is somebody who goes into a stream and just says gay. You know, that's something some lame person would do. All right. What's up, Rome? What's up, Spike? What's up? Are you crazy? All right. So like I said, we're gonna burn through the politics and the news pretty quickly. Not a whole lot going on this week. It's the last stretch. I think we have 9 days? 30, 31. 30 days past September, April, June, and November. All the rest have 31. Yeah. I think Josh gave you the answer. Yeah, I didn't realize I was on mute. I did my whole opening on mute. It was a nice opening though. It was so nice I had to do it twice. All right. So let's get through this the main story news real quick. Election's right around the corner, 9 days away. The campaigns, they're both putting in their last-ditch efforts to get in there. I think we got our October surprise. I think our October surprise was Trump going on Joe Rogan. I think it's surpassed 30 million views. I don't know if that's just on YouTube or if that's between both the channels. Let's check YouTube and see what he's got, how many views he's got so far. Oh, and Milo is debating right now. I don't know. Milo fell off. I don't really care much about Milo, but JRE. Let's see. Powerful JRE. It's got 35 million views in 2 days just on YouTube. That's just on YouTube. Pretty epic. So, last ditch efforts of the campaign trail. Trump goes on Joe Rogan. 35 million views. Great interview. Great interview. I can play you a few of my shorts from it. Let's see. We'll go to my channel. I'll show you a few of the shorts that I made just to give you some ideas of what happened. And I haven't made the biggest short yet, the bomb. I haven't dropped the bomb. This one's got 33,000 views. Let's look at the ear. Let's look at the ear first. What up, Matthew? Let me turn this on. All right, let's watch the ear first.
Was a nice
Once
guy.
they shot you, I was like, he's got to come in here. It's all about timing.
Timing's
I think
good.
our timing's perfect. Do you even have a scar on your ear? You got anything on there?
I do.
What do we say? What do you got
So right over here.
there? Oh, it's a tiny little
See,
mark.
it zicked right there.
Yeah. It healed up pretty fucking good.
Well, it's pretty good. Yeah, it's little. It's not like some of the wrestlers, some of the UFC fighters.
No, you didn't
It's
get
a little bit-
cauliflower
No. It was sort of like a top shot.
Mm-hmm.
The point of the bullet was a little of the ass, but you see the thing's taken off a little bit, but it makes me a tougher guy. You know the fighters. The fighters love their. Bo Nickel, he's a great fighter.
Yeah, I love Bo Nickel.
How's he going to do? I think he's
He's
terrific.
great. He's a fantastic
He
fighter.
was almost like undefeated in college.
He's a fantastic wrestler and one of the best mixed martial
When
artists.
is he fighting again?
He's fighting in Madison Square Garden in November.
Oh, that's going to be after the election.
Yep.
So I'll either go as president or I'll be depressed and I won't bother going. He's a nice guy.
Bro, Trump is a class act. Trump is a class act. He's so funny. He's so smooth. You got tons of views on your shorts, Josh. I know. Yeah, they're doing good. This one was one of the lesser viewed ones. It only had like 5,000, and then today it's been blowing up. But so they talked about a lot of things in the interview. I'll play a few more clips here in a second, but they talked about how when he went on The View and everybody loved him, they loved him. They were kissing and hugging him. The smirk at the end was good. Joe was, I don't give a F who I'm talking to on the man. I think it showed people that Trump was down to earth. Did you see Theo Vaughn talk to JD Vance? JD Vance has a potty mouth. JD Vance was cussing up a storm on Theo Vaughn's show. But I thought it was a pretty good interview. Even I watched, what's his name? Jank's reactions to it. He did a video about it. And even Jank said, this looked really good for Trump. This looks good. He looked personable. He looked like a relaxed guy, like a human being. They talked for 3 hours. I would love to see Kamala talk for 3 hours with Joe Rogan and just sit there and just talk with Joe Rogan for 3 hours. I don't think she could do it. I don't think she would do an hour. But she better. She's got to do it now after seeing 35 million views on this. You think Kamala and Joe Rogan would get 35 million views in 2 days? I don't think it would. The whole JRE interview is censored on YouTube. You can only find clips. I'm pretty sure I just had it pulled up. It's right there. It's right there, Matthew. It's on JRE, on his channel. It's right there. So, I don't think so. But they talked about a lot of things. They talked about aliens. They talked about tariffs and tax, getting rid of income tax potentially. At least that's an idea Trump's flying out there. Probably not going to happen, but, he's throwing it out there. They discussed the polls. That was a pretty good thing. Let me show you the clip from the taxes, and then I'll show you the one about the polling. I still have one short left to drop about this, which is going to be the bomb, which I should have done first, but I'm going to let it stew. I'll probably drop it tomorrow, which is the aliens clip. But this is the tariffs and tax reforms clip.
You just float out the idea of getting rid of income taxes and replacing it with tariffs?
Well, okay.
Were you serious about that?
Yeah, sure. But why not? Our country was the richest relatively in the 1880s and 1890s. A president who was assassinated named McKinley. He was the tariff king. We will not allow the enemy to come in and take our jobs and take our factories and take our workers and take our families unless they pay a big price. And the big price is tariffs. And he'd speak like that, but he was right because countries were putting a lot of pressure on America. We don't want to pay tariffs. Please don't. You know, they, believe me, they control our politicians.
He said, tariffs are my new favorite word. I love that word. It's a better word than love. It's a great word.
We had a commission meeting in the I think it was 1887. We were so rich. We had so much money. We says what to do with all the money we had because we were taxing other people for coming in and taking our jobs.
They're taking our jobs. I don't know if the PBD interview was better. Joe asked him about aliens, bruh. That was cool. So that short's got 33,000 views, and most of that has been over the last day since yesterday. It was crazy. Last night it had 5,000 views while I was at work, and then I looked at it like 2 hours later, and it was at like 18,000. So something happened and it popped off. But this one I used Rogan as a thumbnail just because I didn't want to be too repetitive with the Trump. So I used Rogan as a thumbnail, and this one only has 50 views. So should have used Trump as the thumbnail for this one. But I got one more, which is the aliens one. But let's watch this. This is the polls. This is so funny. They're talking about how polls are a scam, basically. Polls are fraud. Nobody cares about the polls. The polls don't mean anything. And Trump says his usual line, which is, well, I'm doing good in the polls, so I guess I like them now. This week, I like the polls. Usually, I don't like the polls, but I like the polls when I'm ahead in the polls. It's so funny.
Some of them probably never, Paul. What's the difference between 49 to 51
What up, B-Wise?
47 and a half?
Well, it's also a tiny percentage of the population. I don't think.
And what they're about to say, I've said before, I've never talked to a pollster. I've never been called by a pollster. I've had, I got like some Republican Party text thing that they send me, and they'll send me polls to do, and I'll fill the poll out. And when I get to the end, they're like, if you want to submit it, you need to send us a donation. I love Trump, but I'm not sending him $1. I ain't sending him $1. You're lucky if you make a lot of good YouTube content. I think like I've sent Andrew Wilson like $5 or $10 worth of super chats. I probably sent JLP like over 6 years. I probably sent him like $50 between a bunch of little super chats. That's it. I'm not sending Trump no money. Sorry, Trump. I ain't got it. But I've said this before. I've said I've never been polled. Who are they polling for these polls?
I think it's representative of the overall population. I just don't think
I don't know
is.
of one person in my whole life that ever got called by a pollster.
Exactly. That's my point. Here's my question.
But I shouldn't say that because I'm doing really well in the polls. No, I honestly believe that there's probably a lot of fraud. I had a poll, Washington Post, ABC, in the Hillary thing on Wisconsin. They had me down 17 points the day before
That's
the
crazy.
election. In other words, you had no chance. And I won. And I called up my pollster, good guy. I said, tell me, why did they have me down so much? I mean, nobody's going to believe them the next time. They said they don't care. When you're down 17 points, people are going to stay home. They're not going to vote.
Right.
Because they're going to say, I love Trump, but I'm not going to waste my time. It's cold out. I said, but what
It's
if
cold
they make
out.
it 4 or 5? He said, at 4 or 5, they're going to go and vote. Some of them probably.
True. At 4 or 5, they're going to go and vote. All right. So there's my shorts from the Rogan interview. The one that I haven't made yet is probably going to hopefully be the biggest one. It's Joe and Trump talking about the aliens. They talked about the aliens. They talked about taxes. They talked about one big thing Joe wanted to hear about was Trump's first day in office. And Trump was weaving. Trump was doing the weave. I'm also a professional weaver. You got to be very smart to do the weave. Not everyone can do the weave. I can do the weave. I'm a weaver. I'm a pro weaver. But Trump was doing the weave. I think Trump was answering the question like how he felt and what it was like going into the White House and staying there and his emotions and what it looked like and things like that. Joe wanted to know like the logistically, like what happened on his first day. What decisions can you make on the first day? Blah, blah, blah. That's what Joe was looking for. But Trump was telling him it was very surreal. It was surreal. The Abraham Lincoln was very tall, big bed, had a son, a little picture of a son. Giggity, giggity, goo. So that was the Rogan interview. Meanwhile, Kamala was getting, well, we'll talk about Kamala after. We'll do Trump first, and then we'll go to Kamala. Let's do one more thing about Trump. Well, before we move on to the rally in New York, which was awesome. Awesome rally. Huge rally. One of the biggest crowds I've ever seen. And I've seen pictures from people who were there of the crowd outside the rally. The streets of New York were packed. People were coming from miles to get to this rally. But first, let's look at CNN fact check. 32 false claims Trump made to Joe Rogan. I'm not going to read this whole article, but we'll just skim through these. Immigration. Trump repeated his frequent false claim that we had 13,000 murderers dropped in our country over the last 3 years. Right, that is probably false. It's probably way more than that. In reality, as the Department of Homeland Security and independent experts have noted, that official figure is about immigrants with homicide convictions in the U.S. today who entered the country over decades. So, okay, so they didn't come. They're saying they didn't come over the last year. Those are immigrants that we know about over the past decade or decades. It's a broad range there, by the way. Broad over decades. That's how many illegal immigrants have commit homicide. And immigrants in general usually have less violent crime rate because they're trying to keep their nose clean, the legal ones. The illegal ones, we only know about when they get caught. And if they're illegal and they don't get caught, we don't know if they were murderers before they were here or not. So we don't know. There's probably a lot more than that have come in. But they're saying the number that he's using is from a different statistic and it's not accurate. He's probably just picking the lowest, safest number that he can pick. Trump's border wall. The former president falsely, oh, here we go. I know I built 570 miles of wall. That's a significant exaggeration. The official government data shows 458 miles. So not 570, 458. Now, I wonder if they're counting all of the wall built by independent contractors who were Trump supporters. I did a show about that like 2 years ago where there was a group of people who were taking donations. Fleckis found out about it from Fleckis. Fleckis went down to the border and was interviewing these guys. And these were independent contractors, construction workers were coming from all over the place because the steel was there. The supplies were there. But they weren't building. And these guys just started building it. And they were taking donations and they were building it. I forget the name of the organization, but they built hundreds of miles. So they're saying Trump exaggerated 458 to 570, which is actually a nice fact check because a lot of leftist media will tell us that he only built 25 miles of wall. They'll say he only built 25 miles of wall because they consider anything where there was already like a barbed wire fence there, or there was already like a wooden fence or like a chain link fence. He tears that down and he builds a 30-foot wall. They'll say that's not building a wall. That's a renovation to a wall. And that's how whenever you hear them throw out that he only built 25 miles of wall or whatever number, that's a BS number. That's a lie. We've debunked it thoroughly. Including both wall built where no barriers had existed before and wall built to replace previous barriers. Okay, so see, at least CNN's being generous and not trying to pull the wool over our eyes on that one. Harris's border roll. Oh, here we go. Trump repeated the claim that she was in charge of the border. She was not and is not. Oh, so we're just memory holing people on that. That's wrong speak. We're memory holing people on that. You can't know that she was the border czar. She was never the border czar, guys. Forget that. That never happened. the number of migrants, at least 21 million people. The country had recorded over 11 million nationwide encounters, including millions who were rapidly expelled from the country, even adding in so-called gotaways who evaded detection. Yeah, I think all their numbers are very low. He lied about the outcome of the election. I won that election so easy. He lost fair and square, is what CNN says. The legitimacy of the election, these are basically 2 fact checks counted as 1. Polling in 2016 was garbage. They're saying that was a lie. The 2020 election in Wisconsin, again, they're making 6 fact checks out of 1 fact check, which isn't even factual. Election ruling in Virginia, grocery stores and identifications. Oh, because he said you need an ID at a grocery store. Okay, maybe that was a misspeak. Maybe that was a gaffe or a flub. He was just basically saying you do need an ID at a grocery store if you're buying beer. And then Cenk Uygur, in his response to this, his argument was black people, 25% of poor communities are black people, and a lot of them don't have cars, so they don't have driver's licenses. That's why we shouldn't ID voters, because poor black people don't have cars, so they don't have driver's licenses. Now, I don't know if Cenk is just an idiot or if he's disingenuous, but an ID is not the same thing as a driver's license. A driver's license is what you get that says driver's license on the top that you use to drive a car. An ID is what you can get for much cheaper. So if you go to the DMV, you can get a driver's license. You take a driver's test. You get a driver's license. It's going to cost you, I think it's $25 to get it, and then for a renewal, it's like $50. I had to get mine renewed, like 3 months ago, I think, and it was like 40 or $50 to renew it. An ID is somewhere between $11 and $15. An ID works to buy beer, to buy cigarettes, anything you need an ID for. If you want to buy a rated M video game and you look young, you might need to show an ID. If you want to get into a rated R movie and you look really young, you might need to show an ID. Probably not. I get that. I get that most people are just going to sell it to you or let you in the movie, but they could. You would need an ID. And an ID is not a driver's license. You can get an ID. There's homeless services, there's social services everywhere that help homeless and poor people get IDs. Because if you want to get an apartment, if you want to get a job, if you want to get beer, if you want to get cigarettes, if you want to get beer at the grocery store, they will ID you. You don't have to have a driver's license, Cenk. You can use an ID card. It's not the same thing as a driver's license, and that's what you need to show at the minimum. You don't have to show a driver's license. You could just show a state ID. These people are idiots, or they're just disingenuous and evil. I don't know. Poor people can get an ID. It's like $20 every 4 years. That's $5 a year. An ID is even cheaper than that. An ID is cheaper than a driver's license. I think when I got, because before I had a driver's license, I just had an ID, and I think the ID was like $11. And there are social services and homeless services that will give you a voucher. They'll help you get your birth certificate, they'll help you get your social security card, and they'll help you get your ID. You're going to need those 3 things for anything you want to do in life. There's no excuse. But they say black people don't have cars, so they don't have IDs. That's your argument? Black people don't know how to use a computer. So voter ID is racist. It's ridiculous. Crowd size. He lied about his crowd size. He lied about his McDonald's crowd size. He lied about Harris's schedule. According to CNN, this is what CNN says. Trump and ISIS. Oh, yeah, because he said he completely destroyed ISIS in a matter of weeks. They're saying it took more than 2 years. Well, I don't think he started right away. So Obama and Kim Jong, who pays tariffs? Trump repeated his frequent false claim that through tariffs, I took hundreds and billions of dollars from China. U.S. importers make the tariff payments, not China. And study after study has found that Americans bore the overwhelming majority. Yeah, I call BS on that. Environment and energy, global warming and sea level rise. They say he lied about that. Electric vehicle charging stations. Trump falsely claimed that the Biden administration spent $9 billion on just 8 electric vehicle charging stations. Where's the fact check? Okay. Trump was distorting news articles that at a slow pace, with $7.5 billion in federal funds was allocated for electric charging have been spent. As of March, only 8 charging stations have been built. The articles did not say that these stations themselves cost the entire $7.5 billion, let alone $9 billion. Okay. See, this is why you got to read the fact checks, because the fact check will be like false, but true. It's false, but true. So, of the $7.5 billion, by March, they had only built 8 charging stations with $7.5 billion. So it sounds like he was right. This is drilling in wildlife reserve. Anyway, the fact checkers are out for blood. Don't believe the fact checkers. But let's go on to his rally. Trump headlines from Reuters. Trump headlines Madison Square Garden rally after vulgar racist remarks from allies. They're talking about Tony Hinchcliffe. We're going to watch his thing here soon. Here's Kamala's comments on it. And Hillary Clinton said it was a Nazi rally. So they're calling half of America Nazis. Trump is Hitler. And then they wonder why people try to shoot him. Because, if we could go back in time, we would kill baby Hitler, right? That's what people say. I heard an interesting trolley problem the other day, which is if you had 5 people on the tracks, or a clone of Hitler who had all the memories of Hitler and thought that they were Hitler, but they weren't Hitler. It was a clone of Hitler with like a Neuralink that made them think they were Hitler. Would you kill the clone or the one person? It was one person on the tracks or Hitler. Would you kill the Hitler? And interesting little question. Is a clone of Hitler with all the memories the same as Hitler? 9. Be sure to tell them large Marge LaBarge. Let's see what Kamala had to say about the rally. We're all Nazis, guys.
Event in Madison Square Garden really highlighted a point that I've been making throughout this campaign.
That he's racist.
He is focused and actually fixated on his grievances, on himself, and on dividing our country.
Some people who watched that made comparisons between a rally that happened at Madison Square Garden in 1939 with neo-Nazis or Nazis back then. Do you see those comparisons? And can you also expand on what he said and what you said yesterday about Puerto Rico?
This is interesting the way he said that. With neo-Nazis or Nazis back then. No, they weren't neo-Nazis if it was in 1939. They were just Nazis.
Donald Trump this is not new about him, by the way. What he did last night is not a discovery. It is just more of the same and maybe more vivid than usual. Donald Trump spends full time trying to have Americans point their finger at each other. Fans the fuel of hate and division. And that's why people are exhausted.
Says the lady who her supporting groups are black women for Kamala, black men for Kamala, gays for Kamala, comedians for Kamala, white guys for Kamala, crazy cat ladies for Kamala, Asians for Kamala, brown people for Kamala, Middle Easterners for Kamala. Yeah, he's the party of division. We're just MAGA. We got blacks for Trump, because that was an anomaly that you had never seen that many black people voting Republican before, so they made a group. And that's kind of the black mindset because they've been taught it through this cultural Marxism that's proliferated through the country. So they made their group, but for the most part, we're just MAGA, baby.
Exhausted with him. That's why people who formerly have supported Donald Trump, have voted for him, are supporting me, voting for me. People are literally ready to turn the page.
Yeah, Spike. Not to mention, well, CNN said it was more than 455. The number, he said 570 last night, or on Rogan. The number I had heard was like 525, and that's not including what private contractors built. And it wasn't just the scamdemic that stopped it. It was he had to shut down the government because they wouldn't let him build it. And then they left all that steel there. I did a story about the guy that stole $22 million worth of steel. He was going out in his truck, grabbing wall steel once Biden came in and they stopped building the wall. They just left that steel out there. He was going, grabbing it, and then taking it and what's it called? Not recycling, but where you take metal. Is it just metal recycling? Anyway, and they pay you for it. He made $22 million. Maybe it was 2.2 million. It might have been 2.2 million, actually. I'm not great with numbers. But anyway, I did the story a long time ago, and then they caught him and they took him to jail. But every day, that was his bread and butter. He was just going out collecting steel and going and recycling it. So they wonder why people are taking shots at Trump when they're calling him a Nazi and things like that. But the rally was huge. Great rally. Madison Square Garden, packed house. And Tony Hinchcliffe, I think Tony Hinchcliffe stole the show even from Trump. It was very funny. Libs are losing their mind. It's the most racist thing ever. How dare you have this evil racist comedian come up and do some jokes. But notice when he says, are there any Latinos in the crowd? How many people cheer and are happy? Because Latino Trump voters understand that it's not about racism. Racism is just a word that stupid people use to control other stupid people. So we're going to skim through this. This is 10 minutes. I don't think we're going to watch the whole thing. I would like to watch the whole thing, but I made a short of it. Let's listen to Kill Tony. I'm not a huge... I like Tony. I think some of the Rogan sphere comedians are not that great. But Tony's a good roaster, and he's pretty funny when he's roasting. Let's listen to this.
Happening, people. I live in the great state of Texas now. 18 years in Ohio, 20 years in California, and I got to see California turn to absolute horrendous thing. And traveling the world, I got to see San Francisco turn into one of the most demented cities, one of the greatest downfalls I've ever seen. And that is where the other candidate worked for 2 decades. And it's absolutely wild to see. And in Texas, stuff is really, really crazy. We're right there by a wide open border. Where are my proud Latinos at tonight? You guys see what I mean? It's wide open. There's so many of them. It's absolutely incredible. Believe it or not, people,
Racist! They're trying to cancel Tony now, again, because he's a racist. He's an evil racist. I'm so sick of this crap. Oh my God, I'm so sick of it.
welcome migrants to the United States of America with open arms. And by open arms, I mean like this.
No! Go back. That's not the best. No, it was kind of... Oh, we got an ad. Sorry for the ads, guys. I'm a brokey.
It's wild. And these Latinos, they love making babies, too. Just know that. They do. They do. There's no pulling out. They don't do that. They come inside, just like they did to our country. Republicans are the party with a good sense of humor. Free speech is under attack, people. I host a show, and each week I get updates what words we're allowed to use and not use anymore. It's happening right now the past few years.
Yeah, you have to talk like you're a 3-year-old on YouTube. You have to say essay and PDF file and grape. We have to talk like we're a bunch of retarded 3-year-olds because it's hate speech, guys. It's hate speech. Speaking of hate speech and hate crimes, I got an idea for a book I want to write. I got to do research. I'm going to write a book called Hate the Christian about Christian persecution throughout history and in America today. I got to read some books and do some research, gather some stats. I think I'm going to do it.
Years. It's a real thing. And, you know, used to be able to tell people to Google stuff. My mom's a boomer in the state of Ohio, and there's no convincing her.
What up, Wally?
She's eating the cats.
She's eating the dogs.
She's eating the dogs. They're eating the pets up there. It is absolutely wild times. It really, really is. And, you know, there's a lot going on. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but there's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean.
This is bad right here.
Yeah. I think it's called Puerto Rico.
Oh.
Okay. All right. Okay. We're getting there. Again, normally I don't follow the national anthem, everybody. This isn't exactly a perfect comedy setup. There's some people here. All right. Very good. I like it. I have other policies that I think it should be implemented as well. Like me personally, I think football should be all year round. Yeah. So many great athletes. I don't know about you guys, but I think that Travis Kelce might be the next O.J. Simpson.
Oh.
Feels good in here. The other side's got a lot of crazy endorsements.
Somebody on the short that I made of this, somebody said, "You better watch your back, bro." And they're all like, "He's so racist." I said, Tony Hinchcliffe's best jokes from Trump rally was the title of it. And somebody said, "You mean most racist jokes?" They're so lame. They're so lame.
Swift, Eminem, Leo DiCaprio, Beyonce. Every day the Democratic Party looks more and more like a P. Diddy party. Oh, okay. Okay, that's what you guys want. All right, heck yeah, it's cool. Black guy with a thing on his head. What the hell is that, a lampshade? Look at this guy. Oh my goodness. Wow. I'm just kidding. That's one of my buddies. He had a Halloween party last night. We had fun. We carved watermelons together. It was awesome. You guys are... This is a groany little morning crowd. Huh?
That was so good. Speaking of carving watermelons, we're going to carve a pumpkin, but we're going to wait. We're going to save that for the after party because I can't talk and do the show while I'm drawing and carving a pumpkin. So you guys are going to have to carry the after party. You're going to have to jump in the Discord in the after party and talk while I draw and start carving my Donald Trumpkin.
Huh? It's tough to follow this audition for the next Commissioner Gordon's over here. It is, though. It's crazy times we're living in. I mean, all these pointless wars. It is unbelievable what's happening right now. It is incredible. Ukraine versus Russia, Israel, it's like bad soccer games. Who even cares? What are we doing? Why is our money involved in these wars?
We got to save the world.
When it comes to Israel and Palestine, we're all thinking the same thing. Settle your stuff already. Best out of 3. Rock, paper, scissors. You know the Palestinians are going to throw rock every time.
Abdul, get the rocks.
But you also know the Jews have a hard time throwing that paper. You know what I'm saying? All right, we're having fun now. We're cooking.
I have a petition. We want to rename the George Washington.
Speaking of Am I Racist, I finally watched this morning. It's pretty good. This is so funny. We're going to rename the George Washington Monument the George Floyd Monument. We're going to make it 30% bigger. Terrible. Terrible.
Hillary Clinton said that this is a Nazi rally here today. Can you believe that? For the most anti-war president of my entire lifetime, and she calls him Hitler. Let me remind you, Hillary, it was your husband who shot innocent people, or as he called them, interns.
Shot a load in
Yeah,
him.
Hillary, I bet you did not see that one coming. By the way, if I commit suicide in 3 weeks, I didn't.
Who were the murderers? Clinton, he murdered a guy.
I mean, it's just obvious to me who the right candidate is. There's a guy out here dodging bullets. It is unbelievable, right? Unbelievable. I thought about this. I don't know if you have. Coolest place to get shot. Like, if you're gonna get shot anywhere on your body, that's where you want it. Right there. Technically, he got shot in the head, depending on if you're a Democrat or a Republican. Right? If you're a Democrat, his ear was grazed.
No, if you're a Democrat, it was all staged. And people didn't really die. It was ketchup. It never happened. Who's the conspiracy theorist now, bitch?
If you're a Republican, he survived a headshot. It is. It's the best place to get shot. It's the only part of the human body will drive a piercing through like a little girl's ear for no reason. Right? There's just no... It heals fast. Nobody cares. It's the best place to get shot. He went down, saw blood on his hands. I'd imagine he thought right then, I think I just won this shit.
All right, we're not going to play the whole thing. But that was most of it. There's only like 4 minutes left. So that was awesome. Meanwhile, Kamala Harris is getting just more celebrity endorsements. She's done some podcasts. She did Call Her Daddy. Talked about politics with a podcaster who talks about sex all day, encouraging young girls to have sex and then murder their babies. Have promiscuous sex with a bunch of losers and then murder your baby. That's what they talk about on the Call Her Daddy pod. And she's a Christian. She's a pro-choice, pro-baby murder Christian. Isn't that convenient? Huh. That's what Kamala Harris is doing. She's getting endorsements from Beyonce and Eminem. Trump's got his force of Elon, RFK, Tulsi Gabbard, and Joe Rogan hasn't officially endorsed him, but they seem to get along nicely. Meanwhile, Kamala's got Beyonce, Eminem, Taylor Swift. I guess Leonardo DiCaprio endorsed her too. Where's he been? Does anybody care about Leonardo DiCaprio anymore? You know, he died on a door. He let a woman have the whole door and he died. Trump has a good team. Yeah, he's got a squad behind him. So I have not watched this yet. This is my first time watching this. Let's see Eminem's comments at the Kamala Harris rally, and then we'll watch Beyonce's comments. But this is what Kamala is doing. And it's funny. Beyonce went to the Kamala Harris rally, and a bunch of people showed up. It was probably one of her biggest rallies because they thought there was going to be a concert at the end. They thought they were going there for a free concert. They probably thought they were going to get a free Eminem concert too. And they don't. There's no concert at the end. They don't do songs. They don't go there and perform. And these dumbass Democrats are like, ooh, Eminem might perform Lose Yourself. I think he has performed Lose Yourself at a political event before. Or no, that was that Gavin Newsom? That was Vivek. Vivek did Lose Yourself. But this is funny. Now, I will disagree with the Diddy references to Eminem. He might be gay. If you've ever seen the movie Interview, he basically tells you that he is. He's been leaving breadcrumbs of gayness throughout his whole career. But he's not a Diddy party goer. Eminem and 50, G-Unit, they've been at war with P. Diddy from the very beginning. Eminem's talked more trash on Diddy than anybody else ever in every album. But he is a Democrat. You have to separate the art from the artist. He is a Democrat. Let's see what he had to say. I haven't watched this yet. Where's my audio?
The spotlight is on us more than ever. And going into this election, the spotlight is on us more than ever. And I think it's important to use your voice. So I'm encouraging everybody to get out and vote, please.
Vote or die. Remember that
I also think that people shouldn't be afraid to express their opinions. And I don't think anyone wants an America where people are worried about retribution or what people will do if you make your opinion known. I think
what, like shoot at you? Like shoot at, what is he talking about?
Vice President Harris supports a future for this country where these freedoms and many others will be protected and upheld.
Yo, it would have been way cooler if he rapped this. That would have been way cooler.
And here to tell you much more about that, President Barack Obama.
Oh, great. The puppet master himself. Or no, the puppet master is Big Mike, but... Obama wears the pants, but Big Mike tells him when and how and why to put them on. Right, was that the whole thing? It wasn't even a minute and 20 seconds. It was 52 seconds. He could have rapped a verse in that time. And then they play Lose Yourself as Barack walks out. And then Beyonce spoke for 5 minutes. I don't want to watch all of this, but let's see this strong black woman tell us her truth. Sorry, I'm doing this. And what is this person wearing? I just noticed this. What are you wearing? Who is that? Is this that Kim chick from Destiny's Child? Why is she wearing an oversized man's pinstripe suit? What is this? What the hell is that outfit? Also, ladies, I don't like the poofy shoulders. Are they bringing back the poofy shoulders? That was like an old thing. They had the poofy shoulders on the dress. I don't like the poofy shoulders. I don't know what it is with that. Men are supposed to have big shoulders and big traps. Women are not supposed to have big, wide, broad shoulders. That's a masculine thing. This is another psyop, like big butts, long eyelashes, broad shoulders. These are masculine traits. Women are supposed to have birthing hips and supple breasts. Not big old banana lips. Not long eyelashes. Men have longer eyelashes. That's a masculine thing. When you do eyelash extensions, when you do broad shoulders, when you're doing hip thrusts all day and no other workout so that your butt is enormous and then getting butt lifts and butt implants, that's a psyop to make more gay people. Stop it, ladies.
H-Town.
Oh, that's gangster.
We are so happy to be standing here on this stage as proud country Texas women supporting and celebrating the one and only Vice President Kamala Harris. A woman who
It looks like crap. It's not my computer. It's there. It's on their end.
who's been pushing for what this country really needs right now. Unity. It's
is the Hunger
impossible not
Games.
to feel the energy in this room, the positivity.
No, Dean. Regardless of who wins, there's going to be what we call 79 days of hell between January 20th and November 6th is the 79 days of hell. It's going to get wild.
The community, the humanity. We are at the precipice of an incredible shift, the brink of history.
All right, let's skip ahead.
I'm not here as a politician.
Yes, you are. You're only there as a celebrity. You're not there as a politician. You're right about that. I agree with half of that statement. You are there just because you're a celebrity. Nobody cares what you have to say if you're not a celebrity.
Plays a pivotal role to change the course of our future. Texans and Houstonians from Third Ward.
Yeet, yeet.
River Oaks.
Sipping syrup, riding slow, tipping low, 144.
Memorial. Southwest Side. North.
You ain't know I'm out the door. Riding 4, I'm 24s. Sip syrup, I'm getting low. Pop perp, I'm coping dope. What up, Robbie, downtown Brown? Oh, I have a story that in my spooky stories, I cut it out. I had to cut it. But since you're here now, I'll tell you real quick. Did you know, you ever heard of Hiccup Girl? Hiccup Girl had hiccups for like 10 years, and she was on YouTube, and she would document her chronic hiccups. And anyway, she finally got rid of the hiccups, but due to having hiccups for like 20 years, she got schizophrenia, and she murdered some people, and now she's in prison for life. Did you know that? I know Robbie has a phobia of hiccups, and he's right to have that phobia because you could end up in prison from hiccups.
All the way down to most cities.
Oh my God, she said my area code. Oh my God.
We all have a role to play to make this a reality. We're all part of something much bigger.
Okay, I can't keep watching this. Anyway, I'm not here as a celebrity. Yeah, you are. That's the only reason you're here is because you're a celebrity. What are you talking about? From Daily Mail, Beyonce fans furious she didn't perform live at Kamala Harris' Houston rally. We wanted a free concert. You were only there as a celebrity, Beyonce, and they weren't there for Kamala. They just wanted a Beyonce concert. That's so funny. Let's see. So, another interesting thing. You guys are gonna like this. We're already starting to see the fraud incoming. Get ready, guys. This is why we're gonna do, if we have to, if there is no winner announced the night of the election or the morning after the election, I'm committed to a 24-hour election day live stream. So it's coming soon. If it won't be 24 hours if we don't have to do 24 hours. If they finish it that night, you know, it'll still be a long live stream. But if I have to go 24 hours, I'm prepared to do 24 hours. But I'm having a feeling that we're not going to know the night of, and we're already seeing some evidence of that. So I have 3 articles here. This one is from September, and then 2 of them are from this past week. Let's look at these articles. Get ready. Robbie, the mailman's here. Tell us about this. Widespread problems. This is from pbs.org. Widespread problems with U.S. mail system could disrupt voting, election officials warn. State and local election officials from across the country on Wednesday warned that problems with the nation's mail delivery system threatened to disenfranchise voters in the upcoming presidential election, telling the head of the U.S. Postal Service that it hasn't fixed persistent deficiencies. In an alarming letter, the official said that over the past year, including just concluded primary season, mailed ballots that were postmarked on time were received by local election officials days after the deadline to be counted. They also noted that properly addressed election mail was being returned to them as undeliverable, a problem that could automatically send voters to inactive status through no fault of their own, potentially creating chaos when those voters show up to cast a ballot. And then from CBS, this is from this week. CBS News this week, at least a dozen mail ballots intercepted in Mesa County before Colorado voters received them. Let me read that again. At least a dozen mailed ballots intercepted in Mesa County before Colorado voters received them. At least a dozen mail ballots were intercepted and cast on the western slope before voters received them. According to the Colorado Secretary of State's office, 3 of those ballots were cast and counted in Mesa County before the county clerk was able to pull them from the final tally. Colorado's Department of State learned about the intercepted ballots on Tuesday. The ballots were filled out, the return envelopes were signed, they were then returned to a UPS blue box, so that's a postal box, not a ballot drop box, said Secretary of State Jenna Griswold in a news conference. The issue was discovered during the signature verification process. So were signed, then they were returned. So they're putting their ballots in the blue box, which isn't a ballot return box, and then they're counting them. Like, what? We're already seeing crazy stuff happening.
The way the system is designed, it is.
Less than 2 weeks before the election, officials in our state have discovered a voter fraud scheme in Mesa County. At least a dozen mail ballots were stolen, filled out, and then mailed back in. Your political reporter Sean Boyd explains why 3 of those ballots can't be retracted.
Oh, well, we already got 3. We already got 3, boys. There's already 3 fraudulent votes. And it's not even time to start voting yet. Before we could even vote, we already got fraud voting.
Fraud was flagged by the state's signature verification process, but not before 3 of the ballots had already been counted. County clerks use election judges, and in some cases,
a few states are already committing to wait until the 8th to certify. Maricopa County says it will take a week. Oh my God. I can't stream for a week straight, guys. I can't. I have to sleep. I have to work. I'll give you 24 hours of my time on election day. This is bigger than the Super Bowl for me. This is a big deal for me, but I can't give you more than 24 hours. So I hope we have an answer. At least we should be able to predict safely 24 hours after. This is so crazy. This is so ridiculous. It makes me want to side with the anarchist types and the more libertarian types who just say I'm not voting. Even though I don't respect that, I think you should take part in our system, and it's not that hard to just do it. I'm still going to keep voting and still keep talking about politics, but this is getting ridiculous.
Machines to compare the signatures on ballot envelopes to those the clerks have on file.
There's a camera here that's taking a photo of
Look at this dude. Who is this dude?
Every voter's signature on the back of the ballot envelope. It overlays.
Take those stupid earrings out of you. What are you, in middle school? Come on, dude.
Is it over the last signature on file we have for that voter?
When the signatures don't match, voters are notified. 2 of the voters who received a notice contacted the clerk's office to say they hadn't received ballots, let alone signed them.
The way the system is designed.
Wow, so we're already seeing fraud, and it's not even time to vote yet. Let's see what's happening in Pennsylvania, a swing state. A very important swing state, probably in this election, the most important swing state. Pennsylvania Supreme Court says those who mail ballots are rejected for defects. Those who mail ballots are rejected. Hold on. Is this? Pennsylvania Supreme Court says those who mail ballots are rejected for defects should be allowed to vote provisionally. That doesn't even make sense. That's a badly written headline. The Pennsylvania Supreme Court said voters should be allowed to cast provisional ballots in person at their polling place if their mail ballots are rejected because of certain defects. In a ruling Wednesday that could give thousands of Pennsylvanians the opportunity to vote, even if their mail ballots were disqualified due to errors. So this is a good thing, but the problem is, say you mail your ballot and there's a defect and they don't accept it, and then you don't know. Maybe like, I only check my mailbox like once a week. You know, maybe you don't see the thing that says your ballot was rejected. Maybe you don't find out for some reason. So you don't know that your ballot was rejected. You sent it in and you think everything's fine. But they're saying that even if your ballot's rejected, you can show up and vote. This is why I say you should do the mail-in thing. We have to make it too big to rig, as Trump says. Swamp the vote, make it too big to rig. Mail in your ballot and then show up to the poll on the day to vote in person. And if they let you vote in person, then great. If they tell you no, we already got your vote, we already got your ballot. Okay, cool. Going home. That's what I'm going to do. The ruling is a loss for the Republican National Committee, which appealed an intermediate court's ruling that had sided with Butler County residents who had sued after the county refused to count their provisional ballots in the 2024 primary. The practice of provisional voting is offered at in-person polling places where there is some question raised about the person's eligibility to vote. The provisional vote is counted only after the person's eligibility to vote is confirmed. In this case, the provisional vote would only count if the person's mail ballot had been rejected. So we're already seeing problems. Shocker. Spoiler alert. We're about to have a 2020 redo, and there's no COVID this time. Can't blame it on COVID this time. Last thing in main story news. I usually don't put Israel versus Iran and Gaza and Palestine in the main story, but there's Israel's coming in hot. Israel's coming in hot. From AP, satellite images show damage from Israeli attack at 2 secretive Iranian military bases. Basically, Israel's been bombing the hell out of Gaza and Iran harder than before. They're going in. It's wartime, baby. I mean, these pictures don't really show me much. It looks like desert. It just looks like a desert, which is what it is. An Israeli attack on Iran damaged facilities at a secretive military base southeast of the Iranian, but they'll say it's a genocide when they're attacking military bases. Okay. Capital, the experts in the past have linked to Tehran's one-time nuclear weapons program and at another base tied to its ballistic missile program. Satellite photos analyzed Sunday by the Associated Press show some of the buildings damaged sat in Iran's Parchin military base, where the International Atomic Energy Agency suspects Iran in the past conducted tests of high explosives that could trigger a nuclear weapon. Iran long has insisted its nuclear program is peaceful. What's a peaceful nuclear program look like? Though the IAEA, Western intelligence agencies, and others say Tehran had an active weapons program up until 2023. From NBC, Israeli forces leave a trail of destruction after a days-long siege at one of Gaza's last hospitals. So they're attacking the hospitals. Let's watch this. Israeli forces withdrew from Kamal Adwan Hospital following the siege, and an overnight airstrike killed at least 30 people. And you know, at the beginning of this, I was like, I'm not pro-Israel. I'm not pro-Iran. I'm not pro-Palestine. I don't care about this. I don't think our money should be there, blah, blah, blah. I think I'm starting to lean more towards the Zionists' side, because what I'm seeing is everyone on the right, there was always like the people on the right who, like the Groyper types, and they were always, you know, those type of guys, a lot of guys in the red pill community always talking trash about Israel. And now the right and the left are all against Israel. And then when I think about the Holocaust, when I think about everybody is against Israel, it makes me, as a contrarian, you know, as the type of person who wants to take the narrow road, the road less traveled, I think I like the Jews. I do love the Jews. I love the Muslims. But now I think I'm starting to like the Jews more. Because if everybody hates them, then it seems like I don't want to go with the crowd. I don't want to go with the mob mentality. If both sides are agreeing that Israel bad, Zionists bad, I think that maybe the Zionists are not so bad. And if that upsets you, good. Good. I hope it upsets you. Because if you're just going along with the crowd, like I don't even really know what I'm talking about. All I know is I see a bunch of other idiots who don't know what they're talking about hating Israel. And then I see that this tiny little fraction of the population is very successful, very powerful, high IQ. Makes me think maybe they're not so bad. Maybe they're not so bad. Maybe the mass, the mob mentality are the idiots, and they're actually the smart ones. And maybe we should stop hating on them and get like them. They not like us. They not like us. I don't want to hate on the successful small percentage of powerful people in the world. I want to get like them. That's some dang Marxist mentality to be like, oh, they own everything. They have all the power. They're so much richer and smarter than us. I hate that. That's Marxist mentality. That's weak. That's beta. You should want to aspire to be more like them. So, and then when I read the Bible too, I think I'm a Zionist, guys. I might be a Zionist. I'm trying to go kiss that wall. I'm trying to get that Jew money, baby. Where's this guy that's going to pay me to say that? Where are they at? 'Cause I'm trying to find that Jew. Come on now. All right. Iran leader says Israeli attacks should not be exaggerated or downplayed. Okay, so you mean just tell the truth about it? Is that what you're saying, Iran leader? From BBC, Iran's supreme leader, Ali Khamenei, you know that they're probably not a nice guy if their name is Ali Khamenei, has given a measured response to Israeli strikes on the country, saying the attack should not be exaggerated or downplayed, while refraining from pledging immediate retaliation. Yeah, they're like, okay, we need to calm down. Israel ain't playing. President Masoud Pezeshkian said Iran would give an appropriate response to the attack, which killed at least 4 soldiers, adding that Tehran did not seek war. Israel said it targeted military sites in several regions under Iran on Saturday in retaliation for Iranian attacks, including a barrage of almost 200 ballistic missiles fired towards Israel on the 1st of October. On Sunday, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said Israel had crippled Iranian air defense and missile production systems. He said the strikes had severely damaged Iran's defense capability and its ability to produce missiles. I think regardless of whether you pick a side or don't pick a side, there's going to be a war. It's going to be a war. But that's it for the main story news. That was supposed to be quicker, but a lot of videos to watch. Let's get to... Hold on. Let me open this before I play the sound effect. All right, y'all know what time it is. Let's get to the memes. Guys, the fake nukes are coming. Josh is Mossad now. No one can use a beeper around Josh. Let's go. Facts. Y'all don't want to play with me? Abraham, it wasn't. I don't. Josh has been bought out. If his channel gets huge, we'll know he got them shekel bucks. I'm trying, stubborn one. I'm trying to get them shekels. Come on now. I'm not going to pass up some dang shekels or some ruples. Let me get them ruples and them shekels. All right. The world's best van. Check out this van. Look. So when I first looked at it, it says, "That's my girl." Mario saying, "That's my girl." This is painted on the side of a van. And then Bowser saying, "I outrank you in this scenario." And I was like, what does that have to do with Mario? First off, Mario never says, "That's my girl." And Bowser saying I outrank you in this scenario doesn't even make sense. But it makes sense when you open the van door. Look at that. The letters slide over. The N and the K and the RIO from right here. And then that's my girl. When you open the door, the princess runs over to Mario and says, "Thank you, Mario." That's awesome. I love that van. I want that van. Van life, baby. Next. When you invite her to your place for game night. Twister. We're playing Twister tonight. There's an awful lot of red on this thing. Oh, look where the red dot is. Left hand, red dot. Right hand, red dot. I want this Twister game. That's a cool Halloween costume, too. Next. How to get your girlfriend's attention. Hey, what was that show your dad was telling us about? The time travel one. She's not answering. My ex stopped by my work today. What did she want? She instantly responds to that. She wanted to know what that show your dad was telling us about was called. That's how you get your girl's attention. Oh, where's my sound effects? Hey! Next! I got disqualified from the pumpkin contest at work today. I think I showed this one last year, but this is a classic. This is a great pumpkin. If I wasn't doing a Trumpkin, I would do this pumpkin right here. That's a nice pumpkin. That's that booty hole pumpkin. Next. No, we don't serve pussies. Sorry, don't come to the window if you're a Democrat. We don't serve pussies at this McDonald's. Let's go.
It's a man, baby.
Next. When you've beaten the entire game, maxed out all your stats, and decide to go back to do the low-level side quests. That's Trump at McDonald's. Let's go. Yeah. Wait till I get my money right. I would do that pumpkin. Next. Me. All right, let's see who's been sabotaging my life. It's me! I've been sabotaging my life this whole time. It wasn't Donald Trump. Next. Balls to the walls. It's Big Mike. Balls to the walls. Big Mike.
It's a man, baby.
And Tampon Tim.
Beta.
Next. We got a lot of memes this week. Who wore it better? We've talked about this girl, or how would you say that? These girls? We've talked about these girls. Also, do they have... No, never mind. That's inappropriate to ask, but you know what I'm thinking. Like, one of these is married to a guy, and the other one's not. So when he sleeps with his wife, is he also cheating on his wife with her sister? This is so crazy to me. Like, does she close her eyes and look away? Does she feel? And also, when these two get, is it these two or this? I don't even know. Is this two people or one person? I guess it's two brains. But when they get dolled up, it's kind of cute now. I'd hit it. I would definitely hit it. Hey, that's right. Boing! Next. Two heads are better than one. Prepping for riots if Trump wins again. Paint the rainbow flags on your door. The riots are coming.
Beta!
Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah.
Next. When you can only pay for one college tuition. Fight it out, babies! Fight it out, babies! The battle has begun. Next. Trump doesn't actually work at McDonald's. It was staged. Says the press and the Democrats. He's eating paste. Stop eating paste, guys. Next. If cloning isn't real, explain this. Whoopi, Unjaba, unga gunta hunta. That is a clone of Whoopi. They cloned a guy. Who are the cloners? Oh, The View. They cloned a guy. I don't know what Whoopi is. Next. Tulsi Gabbard finally realizes she's far too attractive to be a Democrat. Hey, what up, girl? What up, girl? I actually don't think. She's cute. She's cute. Her face is all pockmarked. If you've ever seen a close-up of her face, she wears lots of makeup because her face is all like pockmarked. And she's from Hawaii, so I wonder what that's from. Anyway, next. In case of emergency, break the glass. CNN, MSNBC, CBS, NPR, the Democrats, ABC, NBC, they're breaking the glass to get the race card. It's racist. It's all racist. Everybody's racist. Next. When I win the lottery, I won't tell anyone, but there will be signs. This is me dropping warm, soapy water on India. Here, take a bath, Indians. Stop pooping in the street. Next. Kamala's doing a crossword puzzle. Wait a second. Kamala, that's not how you do a crossword puzzle. It's not a maze. Kamala. Poor Jabba gonna get it for cultural appropriation with the hair. Next. Kamala Harris said she owns a gun. Oh, wait. Kamala Harris says she owns a gun. That means she's pro 2A. I trust her. The guy said, I think it's cool you're so open about your mental illness. Next. That guy's just trying to get laid. Honey, the car will not drive. The guy says, when I'm not with you, you have to sit on the other side, honey. Oh, my goodness. Don't let that woman drive that vehicle. Are you crazy? Next. Somewhere between Apocalypse Now and The Matrix. Let's remember Lawrence Fishburne was Cowboy Curtis on Pee-wee's Playhouse in the 80s. Cowboy Curtis! Zombie! Mecca lecca hi, mecca hiney ho. That's true. Lawrence Fishburne was Cowboy Curtis. Hey, Pee-wee, I'm Cowboy Curtis. Next. Message day. Okay, this is a message you send to your girlfriend sends you. If you are sleeping, send me your dreams. If you are laughing, send me your smile. If you are eating, send me a bite. If you are crying, send me your tears. I love you. And then the guy responds, I'm on the toilet. Please advise. I'm on the toilet. Please advise. Where's my toilet flush? If you are taking a shit, send me a turd. No, gross. Ew. Next. Me realizing I was right about the conspiracy theory. Me realizing I was right about all those conspiracy theories. Yeah. Me realizing I was right about all those conspiracy theories. Wait a second. Oh, shit. Next. Hey, Doc, I'd like to have one of my fingers removed. Clearly, you are mentally unwell. And then this. Hi, Doc, I'd like to have my penis removed. You are an inspiration. Crickets. Next. Ooh, it's a Venn diagram. I like Venn diagrams. I'm like Kamala. I love Venn diagrams. Epstein guest list. Diddy guest list. Where they come together. All the celebrities coming out to support Kamala Harris. Oh, no.
Yeah. Oh, Clinton, he murdered a guy.
I don't know why I did Clinton. He murdered a guy, but next. Breaking Kamala Harris to do Five Guys today. Unclear if she will also visit a burger joint.
Merry Christmas, Happy Schwanza, Happy Hanukkah.
She's going to do Five Guys. What the? Next. Only known photo of Kamala Harris working for Ronald McDonald. Oh, no. Didn't that guy host the 1990s Twilight Zone? Oh, no. I don't know which guy. You mean Morgan? Anyway. Lawrence Fishburne. Trump is going to do ayahuasca with Rogan, and the internet is going to shut off. That's some very good weed, Joe. Where's the ayahuasca? Pass the ayahuasca. Nice. Bro, you don't want to see Trump high and tripping. He'd probably be very fun, though. Next. Media. Trump staged an event. Also the media. John, I'm here in waist-deep water. It's very deep here. Next. I can't believe Donald Trump would stage a photo op at McDonald's for political purposes. Who would do such a thing? And we have AOC crying at the border fence. Oh, no, the kids. The kids, no.
Beta.
Next. Investigation reveals Trump's role in Home Alone 2 was staged. Trump role in Home Alone 2 was... It wasn't real, guys. But he got paid. They took that out of the... I think like Fox Family or some family network. They took that scene out. It's crazy. Next. The right says we have RFK Jr., Elon, and Tulsi. The left says we have a Lizzo. They got a Lizzo, guys. Ow, it's Lizzo. Next. Trump indicted for allegedly serving McDonald's customers 7th nugget in a 6-piece order. Donald Trump gave me 7 nuggets in my 6-piece order. Hashtag blessed. Prayer hands. Nice. They're going to indict him for that. He's scamming McDonald's. McDonald's is going to sue him. Next. This is so funny. I didn't even think of this. Trump is replacing the McDonald's, and he's just going to call it Donald's. It's just called Donald's now.
It's a man, baby.
Next. My finger when I use cheap toilet paper. This would be funnier if this was a black girl. When I use cheap toilet paper, or like a brown girl, you know? I'm just saying. Kind of gross. Next. White dudes for hair wear hairs. White dudes for hairs. Tinky Winky. Dipsy. La La. Po. Teletubbies. Teletubbies. Say hello. Next. Plan A, shoot him in the head. Plan B, Kamala Harris. Plan C, call him Hitler. Plan D, get ready for Plan D. Skyrocket election fraud. Get ready. Here it comes. This is the plan. This is how you win the election in 2024. Get ready to be upset, guys. I'm just telling you. Don't get too excited or hyped up, all right? Get ready to have a...
Merry Christmas, Happy Schwanza, Happy Hanukkah.
Next. Here's Tim Waltz taking a selfie. Let's zoom in on the hand. This guy's like, Beta! Tim, that's a limp wrist, Tim. That is a limp wrist, Tim. Watch out for limp-wristed Tim. Next. Trans species man who self-identifies as a deer accidentally shot by hunters. This looks like Uncanny Valley freaky, like some of the videos we're going to watch later. A South Carolina man who self-identifies as a deer has been transported to the hospital via helicopter after being shot by 2 hunters. Somebody commented, kudos for the hunters for accepting him for who he is. Good job, hunters. These hunters really accept him for his identity. Next. That's diversity, equity, and inclusion. It's supposed to be scary. Be honest. I am being honest. Be honest. Okay, I just want to look hot. Thank you. Your Halloween costume is not supposed to be scary. You just want to dress up like a whore on Halloween. We all know it. Everybody knows it. It's not a secret. Next. Trick or treat. Trick or treat. She's a trick. He would be a treat. Donald Trump would be a treat. That's right. Next. Candy costs too much, so I'm just going to hand out condiment packets this year for Halloween. Mayonnaise. Maybe some of those free saltine crackers. You could get some sugar packets, some mustard. This is a good idea right here. I might put a bowl of one of these out on my porch next to my Trumpkin on Halloween. And then trick or treat. Next. Middle class woman. Oh, we got a Halloween costume meme from Spirit. They've been doing news stories on these memes. Spirit Halloween. Middle class woman. Contents include a $10,000 watch, a $62,000 necklace, and no job experience. Get your middle class woman costume. Next. Ooh, another Spirit Halloween costume. 45th and 47th president costume. Includes an apron, freedom, secure border, affordability, Diet Coke, fries, and a scoop. That's what I'm going to be for Halloween. Dang.
It's a man, baby.
Nice. Next. What's chat saying? On his way to a Kamala rally. Is that deer one true? It looks like it could happen. I don't know. It looked like a real news report. I don't know. Those hunters let him live his truth. Yeah. They let him live his best life. The house down the street from us had a skeleton Trump versus skeleton Kamala debate set up. Nice. Oh my God, that doorbell just got me. I don't even have a doorbell. Next. Trick or treat. Help yourself to the mini pumpkins. Those are habanero peppers. Bro, this is funny, but do not do this because a little kid, if they eat a freaking habanero pepper, it could be very bad for them. Don't do this, guys. I actually have some habanero peppers. We're going to have a goal. You guys want to see me eat a habanero pepper? We need to get $20 either in Super Chats or Cash App tonight during the show, during the after party. The goal is $20. We get $20, I'll eat a habanero live. That's the goal. The Cash App is open. You can hit up the Cash App. You can hit up, it's $ Dreadedconservative. You can hit up the Super Chats. $20. It's a small goal for a 13 hours worth of streaming tonight, probably. You want to see me eat a mini pumpkin for Halloween? $20 is the goal. But that's it for the memes. Why is it so warm in here? I expected it to be cold. All right. That's it for the memes. We do have some reels and rapid fire news. Not a lot. We're going to get through this real quick, and then we're going to get into the spooky stuff. Be warned, guys. Well, we'll do our Halloween stuff here in a minute after I do rapid fire news. But fair warning. We're going to look at some of the darkest videos on YouTube, some of the darkest channels. I'm going to show you some things that you might not want to go down the rabbit hole on YouTube for this stuff, some of it, because it can get pretty freaky. There is a dark side to YouTube, and we're going to talk about that. I've been watching a lot of Nick Crowley videos lately, and all week I've been going down the dark YouTube rabbit hole, and I've got some creepy videos, some creepy stories. But it's going to get dark here in a little bit. But first, let's do some rapid fire news real quick. So, not a whole lot here.
Hey, how you doing?
Hi.
Pause.
Everything all right?
All right. First, let's watch some funny reels before we get started with the rapid fire. This one's pretty funny. Uber driver turns white woman hood.
Hey, how you doing?
Hi.
Everything all right?
I had the worst day ever. My coworker just got me written up.
Your coworker just got you written up?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
There she is right there.
Oh, her right there?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. You can't let people bully you. So what I need you to do is tell her if she snitch on you again, she gonna catch your fade. Go on, tell her. Tell her. If she snitch on you again, she gotta catch your fade. Tell her.
If you snitch on me again, you're gonna catch my fade.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Tell her, because you got time today, cuz. Tell her.
Like that?
I got time today, cuz.
I got time today, cuz.
Cuz. Yeah. Yeah. Matter of fact, tell her if you catch her at Starbucks, you gonna run in her pockets, bruh.
What does that mean?
Tell her if you catch her at Starbucks, you gonna run in her pockets, bruh. Tell her.
If I catch you at Starbucks, I'm gonna run in your pockets, bruh. Speaking of Nick Crowley, that's the next video to play. But here's a nice, happy one. This kid wants chocolate milk. Ben, my little brother, was obsessed with chocolate milk. This is for him.
Do it. Do it. Oh, boy. Yeah.
Wait till the end. Now stir it. Just blast. Oh, this one's not available right now. What was this one? This one's not available right now. All right, let's do some headlines, some rapid fire news real quick. From CNN, little more Trump stuff. This is crazy. Central Park 5 members sue Trump for defamation after his debate comments on the 1989 case. The Central Park 5 guys, the guys who admitted to raping and murdering a girl in Central Park. I don't know if they murdered her. I can't remember. But we've done this. We've done a whole thing on this before. And it wasn't just 5 of them. It was like 20 gangbangers in Central Park at night. And this girl was jogging. And they raped her. And I think they murdered her. I think they murdered a girl. And they got brought in to the interrogation room. And they all confessed to the crime. Later, years later, an ambulance chaser, Benjamin Crump type lawyer, got them released because they claimed it was all racism, even though the officer who arrested them and interrogated them was black. It was a racist cop. So they used the George Floyd type crap, the police brutality type crap, and they said they convinced them to admit to the crime that they did. So they all got let out. And now these 5 losers, rapists, gangbangers, are suing Donald Trump for defamation. Members of the Central Park 5 sued former President Donald Trump on Monday after a false and defamatory statements they allege he made about their 1989 case during a presidential debate. The 5 men claimed in a federal lawsuit that Trump knew he was acting with reckless disregard for the truth when he said during the debate with Vice President Kamala Harris that they pled guilty to crimes connected to the beating and raping of a woman in New York City, and that the 5 teenagers badly hurt a person, killed a person in the attack. This is crazy. So they're suing Donald Trump. So they get let out of jail, and that's not enough. Now they want to sue the president. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Wow. Here's something from Australia. Give us what you stole from us. from NPR. Give us what you stole from us. Indigenous Australian senator yells at King Charles. An Indigenous senator told King Charles III that Australia is not his land as the British royal visited Australia's parliament on Monday. This is why you don't let these people into your government, because they're crazy. And Australia is getting what it deserves. They're going right down the same path. We've done stories about this before, about how the Aboriginals want to take a bunch of the land back, and they say she's in trouble for that. Yeah, this is crazy. It's happening all over the world. It's cultural Marxism, the eternal struggle of the oppressor versus the oppressed, and it's all over the West. Australia is already basically owned by China. That woman yelled at King Charles while she was wearing deer skins. This is crazy. You committed genocide against our people. Well, then why are you still here? If we commit a genocide against you, why are you still here? Everybody's always crying about genocide. You committed genocide against what? Meanwhile, they're doing infanticide through abortion. That's fine. Eugenics, that's okay. You committed genocide against our people. I'm sure they have land allotted to them in Australia. I'm sure they're living high on the hog. You're in Parliament. You have representation in Parliament. What more do you want? Why are you always begging for more stuff? You committed genocide against our people, she shouted. Give us what you stole from us. Our bones, our skulls, our babies, our people. You destroyed our land. Give us a treaty. We want a treaty. No treaty was ever struck between British colonizers and Australia's indigenous people. This is not your land. You are not my king, Thorpe yelled as she was ushered from the hall. Is there a picture of her wearing it? They have a picture of her, and I don't. Oh, yeah, she does have a deer skin on her back in this picture right here. She's got a deer skin cape. That's crazy. That's crazy. We got an update on Ray Gun. We got an update on our girl Ray Gun. We love Ray Gun. We love Ray Gun. Breakdancer Ray Gun shocks fans with drastic new look after the Paris Olympics. Let's see this. Oh, we got two ads. Rachel Gunn, a.k.a. Ray Gun, ditched her green and gold tracksuit for a glam new look in her cover shoot for Stellar magazine. Who's putting this lady on the cover of a magazine? On Thursday, the Australian breakdancer gave her Instagram followers a sneak peek of the shoot, which will be released fully on Sunday. In the cover shoot, Gunn stunned in an electric blue gown with bell sleeves, which she paired with a strappy black sandals. Opposed to her typical baggy fits, the dress showed off the dancer's curves as she posed with her hands on her hips. Let's see Ray Gunn's new look. Oh, that dress is ugly than a mug. That dress is ugly than a mug. Why is it so small? Is that the only picture? Are there any more pictures? Look at Ray Gun. She can't break dance in that. How's she going to break dance in that? Shout out Ray Gun. Okay. Ray Gun got a new look. All right. This is funny. So, Dragon Ball Daima is the new Dragon Ball series. They've released 2 episodes, or actually probably 3 by now. And I hate Screen Rant. Screen Rant is liberal garbage for, stuff like Marvel, Star Wars, DC, Star Trek. Anyway, they put out liberal propaganda garbage. Look at this headline. Dragon Ball's most controversial character officially returns in Daima. And people are outraged, or they're spreading fake outrage. We've talked about this before. Mr. Popo is back. Mr. Popo is back. Dragon Ball Daima is the last excellent anime produced from the late Akira Toriyama's hailed vision, bringing Goku and his friends to the Demon Realm to rescue Dende while interacting with its Dragon Balls. It's created an exciting reunion yet again, bringing in characters from the franchise timeline, including one of the series' most controversial ones, Mr. Popo. Mr. Popo, despite his formidable fighting prowess, Mr. Popo becomes sidelined rather quickly in the franchise. Where's the there's Mr. Popo. He black. He black. Look, Mr. Popo's design is a common talking point among North American audience and abroad outside of Japan due to its uncanny resemblance to harmful depictions of blackface from the Jim Crow era. He's actually modeled after the Moors. He's a Moor. And beyond the United States, it touches a nerve understandably and was among... By the way, this is all bullshit. Nobody cared about Mr. Popo or called him racist until like 10 years ago. When the show first came out, nobody cared. Nobody said anything. This was a new development because the cultural Marxism they push on us. It was the Moors. Yeah, Mr. Popo is a dang Moor. Let me show you. So this is what they did in Dragon Ball Kai. Let's see if I can find the picture. So it was like Cartoon Network or something like that. They recreated Mr. Popo in Dragon Ball Kai, and this is what they did. So this is original Dragon Ball Mr. Popo. He's black. If you look up the Moors, we've talked about this before. Mr. Popo is dark black with big red lips and big beady white eyes. And in Dragon Ball Kai, like 10 years ago, they made him blue. They edited Dragon Ball and they made him blue because black Mr. Popo is racist, but blue Mr. Popo is okay. And Liberal Propaganda Screen Rant puts out an article about how Mr. Popo is racist, but he came back in Dragon Ball Daima and people are not happy. Anyway, next. Baby dinosaur filmed running through yard by security camera from iHeartRadio. Look at the baby dinosaur. Guys, I told you dinosaurs helped build the pyramids. Look at this. This looks like a stuffed animal. During the day, most home doorbells and security cameras only capture passerby or curious bird, but the cameras have night vision, pick up movements in the dark, a lot of bizarre scenes. Alien abductions, strange creatures, ghosts, a man transforming into dogs. Now something even odder was captured. Palm Coast resident Christy Ryan sent what her camera picked up to Fox affiliates. In a yard in the video, dinosaur-like creature, perhaps a velociraptor, darts across Christina's lawn. She told News, any animal we can come up with that would be walking at 3:40 in the morning wouldn't walk this way. Maybe I've watched Jurassic Park too many times, but I see a raptor or a small dinosaur. Let's watch it. Hold on. It's fast, guys. It's fast. We got to watch it. Can we watch it in slow-mo? Let's watch this in slow-mo. You guys ready to see a real-life dinosaur? That's a damn raptor! I don't know. It could be some sort of bird. But I guess raptors were birds. Is this in Florida? That could be a dang sandhill crane. But why would a sandhill crane be out at this time of night? Bro, I told you dinosaurs walked with humans. I told you dinosaurs walked with humans and helped build pyramids. We're going to be getting a new pyramid in America soon with security raptors. Speaking of dinosaurs walking with humans, look at this. From 9 News, Colorado, paleontologists discover prehistoric Colorado resident that lived alongside dinosaurs. A team of paleontologists working in northwest Colorado have discovered Heliocola piscineus, a mammal that was alive during the age of the dinosaurs. Oh, so it wasn't a human. It was just a mammal. We know mammals lived with the dinosaurs. Duh. This is not new news. See, we already knew this. I thought it was a human. I haven't read the article yet. University of Colorado Boulder announced Wednesday that a team of paleontologists working in the northwest corner of Colorado had discovered a swamp dweller, skunk ape, that was alive during the age of the dinosaurs. The team unearthed a previously unknown mammal fossil near Rangeley that was named Heliocola piscineus. Heliocola roughly translates to swamp dweller. It's the dang skunk ape in Colorado from the late Cretaceous period. Oh, it's only the size of a muskrat? That ain't a dang. Anyway, I thought this was about a human that walked with dinosaurs. But we've done stories about how paleontologists have proven that in the Cretaceous period, allegedly, humans did walk with dinosaurs. And last but not least, from local Salt Lake City news, damn pyramid schemes. It did look kind of like a peacock, but raptors look kind of like peacocks. Raptor means bird. Some local news. Hunters for Halloween. Hunters find human skull in Salt Lake backcountry. Dun, dun, dun. Salt Lake City, less than a week after a skull was found near Brigham City, hunters near Salt Lake City say they found what police believe pieces of a human skull. Clayton Baird was hunting elk on October 15th when he came across a strange object. I picked it up not knowing what it was at first, but figured out pretty quickly it was the top of a human skull. It's often hunters who stumble across human remains in the backcountry, he said. Baird marked the location and called Salt Lake County Sheriff, who investigated the next day. Chris Bronson, a spokesman, confirmed that someone called dispatch and police later flew a chopper out to investigate near what they would only specify as an area around Black Mountain. The object was confirmed to be a human skull in 2 parts. The sheriff's office called for a team of cadaver dogs to help search the area, but none were available. So that's cutting the budget for the police. That's the police reform. They don't even have cadaver dogs anymore. So deputies did a grid search, not finding any other human remains. Look at that. Look at that. Maybe the natives were using it as a bowl after to eat the person. Who knows? But that's it, guys, for rapid fire news. All right. Before we get into spooky stuff, it is Halloween time. This is the Halloween show. Let me open up my folder. We have lots of YouTube videos, lots of spooky stuff to watch. But first, I'm not going to do a deep dive because we did one last year. If you go back and watch my Halloween episode from last year, which at this time last year, I was on a 90-day ban. So I was on Rumble. But I did re-upload the Halloween stream from Rumble to YouTube. So it's not in my live tab. If you go to my videos, you can find the Halloween is Not Pagan stream that I did last year. So we're just going to do a quick brush over of this. So what people will claim is that Halloween is based off of the pagan tradition of Samhain. If you want to look into this, it's not spelled the way it sounds. It's pronounced Samhain. It's spelled Samhain. So it's spelled like Sam Hain, but it's pronounced Samhain. And that was a pagan festival that happened around this time of year. But what happened was the Catholics, who were already celebrating All Hallows Eve, All Saints Day, and All Souls Day, which I did a full breakdown of what each of those days represents in last year's Halloween episode. Once the Catholics destroyed the pagans, essentially, we took over, we conquered, we won. The people that we left alive, that we showed mercy to, and we left them alive, already had a tradition of celebrating at this time of the year, which is a good time to have feasts. The seasons are changing, the harvest, et cetera, et cetera. So people feast around this time of the year a lot. All they did was change the dates of holidays that already existed in Christianity: All Hallows Eve, All Saints Day, and All Souls Day. Hallowed, our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Halloween, All Hallows Eve. So the idea is the hallowed are the saints who died before Jesus came. And then All Saints Day is when Jesus comes, the saints are able to rise. And then All Souls Day is for the ones who are still down there or the unsaved people. This is what the Halloween, it's called All Hallow Tide. All Hallow Tide is All Hallows Eve, All Saints Day, and All Souls Day. They moved the date to a time that pagans, that the majority of people that they had just conquered were already used to celebrating at. They just moved the date. So when somebody says Halloween is based on Samhain, they're wrong. They're lying to you. This is an atheist lie that they spread every year. They spread it about Christmas. They spread it about Easter. They spread it about Halloween through memes and stuff on Facebook. It's the same thing that they want to turn Columbus Day into Indigenous Peoples Day. They say Thanksgiving is a racist holiday. You know, they give us crap like Juneteenth and Women's History Month and Gay Month. This is a Marxist thing. They hate the white man. They hate Christians, and they want to destroy the holidays. So they spread lies and they say that it was based on paganism. This is not true. All Hallows Eve, Halloween, was around, maybe not before Samhain, but Christians were celebrating it before we even knew what Samhain was. And then we destroyed them, and now we don't give them an inch of ground. So if you're a Christian and you go around saying Halloween is based off of a pagan holiday of Samhain, what you're doing is you're giving up ground to the atheists. Don't give them an inch of ground. Crush them. Destroy them. Ain't no Samhain. Nobody's celebrating Samhain. We celebrate Halloween in America. Okay? Trick-or-treating was a medieval Christian tradition where the poor would go to the wealthy homes on All Hallows Eve to ask for food and beer in exchange for prayers. Trick-or-treating, Christian. Costumes. The costume-wearing costumes originated in Scotland, where young men were called geysers because they wore disguises. So the costume thing, maybe not Christian, but the trick-or-treating is Christian. All Hallows Eve is Christian. And then the jack-o'-lanterns, we're going to go deep into jack-o'-lanterns because I didn't talk about this in the last year's episode, but I did talk about trick-or-treating and costumes and where all that comes from. So we're going to go a little deeper into the jack-o'-lanterns tonight. The Easter Bunny and Jesus weren't best friends. The Easter Bunny is the only concession that I'll make is that the Easter Bunny is a little pagan. Now, Easter is not pagan. Eoster just means springtime. It's not they say Eoster is the goddess of fertility. Eoster was a goddess of fertility, but Eoster is named Eoster because Eoster means spring. So that word doesn't automatically associate with this goddess of fertility. It's just a springtime feast. Egg painting. I've done in-depth breakdowns of all these traditions and all these things. The Easter Bunny. I'm not going to give them the Christmas tree. I'm not going to give them gifts on Christmas. I'm not going to give them costumes or trick-or-treating or Halloween. I'm not going to give them Easter. I will give them the Easter Bunny. The bunny is a little bit pagan. But the egg painting, nope. That's a Catholic tradition. That comes from Catholics. And the days that we hold them on is because we conquered them and they had traditions, so we took it. It's an association fallacy. It's like just because sometimes it's association fallacy where it's like Hitler drank water, so if you drink water, you're a Nazi. So it's like pagans had feasts on this day, so if you have a feast on this day, then you're a pagan. No, that's stupid. Everybody had feasts at these times of the year. So I will not give them. The only ground I'll cede is the Easter Bunny. Maybe we should get rid of the bunny. But it's cute. It's fuzzy bunny. Everybody loves a little fuzzy bunny. Okay? So just because we celebrate bunnies and they celebrated bunnies as a symbol of fertility and the pagan things doesn't, it's an association fallacy to say just because we have bunnies, we're pagan. That's stupid. Bunnies are very fertile. There's a lot of them. You can eat them. They give us food. So, whatever. Hello, my fascist friend. I'm only slightly fascist. But let's go into jack-o'-lanterns because I don't think I did jack-o'-lanterns last year. This is kind of interesting. Now, Celtic tradition, a little bit pagan. But so maybe we can, you know, oh, where'd it go? Halloween. Some people practice the Christian observances of All Hallows Eve, including attending church services and lighting candles on the graves of the dead, although it is a secular celebration for others. Right. And the reason is because of capitalism, American capitalism. Our Christian holidays have been turned into degenerate party, get drunk, dress in weird outfits, and go out and have a bunch of degenerate sex with a bunch of people. But they drive the economy. It boosts the economy. A lot of people spend money around holiday time. So that's the fault of capitalism. These are Christian holidays. Halloween is a Christian holiday. You're the Diet Coke of fascism. Just 1 calorie, not enough. Yes. And just a little bit. Just a little bit of fascism. Not a lot. And not Mussolini capitalism either. Right wing not Mussolini fascism either. That's gay fascism. Where's the pumpkin thing? The origins of the pumpkin. The tradition of carving pumpkins for Halloween originated in Ireland. Where's Wally at? Shout out Wally. And is based on an Irish folk tale about Stingy Jack. Stingy Jack. In the story, Stingy Jack tricks the devil into changing form, traps him, and offers to let him out of the deal if he doesn't take Jack's soul for a long time. When Jack dies, so there's God and the devil in this story. So even though it's Irish and kind of Celtic, it's not the pagans who are doing this. This is we're talking about God and the devil here. If he doesn't take Jack's soul for a long time, when Jack dies, neither the devil nor God will let him into their realms. So he's forced to wander the earth as a ghost. The devil gives Jack a burning coal and a carved out turnip to light his way. So Stingy Jack has a carved out turnip, puts a candle in it, and he walks around on All Hallows Eve looking for souls because he's been cursed by the devil. You may think, that's crazy. That's some myth. That's some urban legend. I don't know. I've heard that who was it? Who is it, John, in the Bible that Cain? Was it Cain? There's some conspiracy theories that Cain and some religious people will say this too, that Cain is still walking the earth to this day because he was cursed in the Cain and Abel story to wander the world forever. And there's been stories and sightings of this mysterious hooded figure who wanders through the deserts. People have seen him. They might have been hallucinating. They might have been it might have been a mirage, but there are stories of this hooded figure that wanders through the desert, and some people speculate that it's Cain from the Cain and Abel story because he was cursed to wander the world forever. So Stingy Jack, not that crazy of an idea that he tried to make a deal with the devil and he got cursed to wander the land. But anyway, in Ireland, they would carve out turnips. So when Irish immigrants brought this tradition to America, pumpkins, the natives taught us to grow pumpkins. We have pumpkins here, plus turnips. Who eats turnips? Are gross. You know, who wants to carve a potato or a turnip? In America, we got pumpkins. So when the Irish immigrants came to America, they saw the pumpkins. They said, let's carve those out instead. Those are bigger and they're orange. And so they started carving pumpkins instead of turnips. And that is how we get pumpkin carving. And that's why, in honor of the Irish immigrants, you know, diversity, equity, and inclusion, we support that here. In the after party, we're going to be carving our Halloween mugshot Trumpkin. Cain was cursed to wander and he started in Africa. Yeah, like mini pumpkins. I have heard that. The mark of Cain. Yeah, it's a cool story. I should do a breakdown of that someday because it's like a little bit of a horror story mixed with conspiracy theory, mixed with the Bible. It's an interesting one. The gourds. I'm bored out of my gourd. So, why do we carve pumpkins at Halloween? The jack-o'-lantern this is from Encyclopedia Britannica. Long history with Halloween. Although our favorite demonic faces haven't always been carved out of pumpkins. They don't have to be demonic. Sometimes they're smiling. Some people do funny pumpkins. It doesn't always have to be demons. The Irish myth about Stingy Jack who tricked the devil for his own monetary gain. When Jack died, God didn't allow him into heaven, and the devil didn't let him into hell. So he was sentenced to roam the earth for eternity. In Ireland, people started to carve demonic faces out of turnips to frighten away Jack's wandering soul. And then they started, okay, so it's just repeating what we just read from Google. In the 8th century, the Roman Catholic Church moved All Saints' Day, a day celebrating the church's saints, to November 1st. This meant that All Hallows' Eve, or Halloween, fell on October 31st. And then of course, they're going to put the liberal twist on it. Traditions from Samhain remain, such as wearing disguises to hide yourself from the souls wandering around your home. So maybe and this is the association fallacy, maybe they had traditions where they would wear disguises, but Christians also had traditions of wearing costumes. And every culture has some sort of tradition where they wear a costume at some point or dress up in different types of garb. So it's association fallacy to say just because they wore costumes and we wore costumes, then that means you're a pagan if you wear a costume. No, just because Hitler drank water doesn't mean I'm a Nazi because I drink water. Different cultures do similar things. Doesn't mean we're plagiarizing them. It doesn't mean we're copying them. It probably means that all the people and all the cultures came from one central place and two people, and it spread out. And different ideas, were spread through different cultures that were similar based on a similar origin. So if you wear a costume on Halloween, doesn't mean you're pagan. If you celebrate All Hallows Eve, it's a Christian holiday. It's not a pagan holiday. If you carve a jack-o'-lantern, it's not pagan. If you go trick-or-treating, that's not pagan. If you paint Easter eggs, that's not pagan. If you put up a Christmas tree, that's not pagan. If you give gifts on Christmas, that's not pagan. And I will go to war. I will debate anybody on this. I've done 3 years worth of breakdowns in this. And we're just glazing over it in this one. I went in depth last year for every holiday. This year, we've been doing it for 3 years, so we're kind of just icing over them this year. But if you go watch my old Christmas, Easter, and Halloween streams, I go in depth of why none of these holidays are pagan. We're not giving the pagans an inch of ground. It just means you want some candy. Exactly, Rome. Okay, enough of that. Let's get into the spooky stuff. We've got an hour. We've got a lot of videos and stuff to talk about. We're going to start with just some creepy videos from YouTube. Some of these you've probably seen before. Some of them are popular. Some of them not so popular. A lot of them I stole from, I didn't steal them because I guess Nick Crowley would. I've been watching a lot of Nick Crowley videos and these other spooky YouTube channels. And, they'll do like the darkest videos on the internet. And then it'll have like 5 videos that they go over. And I've just been writing down in my notes some of the ones I wanted to pick out and talk about. And then after we do videos, we're going to go into some crazy channels on YouTube. Channels started by murderers, serial killers. I don't have a lot of them. Maybe in the after party, we can go into more of them because I have some that I couldn't fit into the time slot that we'll talk about in the after party. There are school shooters who had YouTube channels. Yeah, and there's a lot of weird stuff on YouTube. Um, some of this stuff is some of this stuff is was later found to be hoaxes or just art projects, like artistic, scary stuff. Some of the stuff is real. Some of the stuff we don't know. We don't know the backstory. We don't know a lot about it. And we're gonna end with what I think is one of the spookiest. It's not really a video; it's an audio recording. Things that I've ever heard, and um, I've I did a deep dive on this a long time ago, but we got what I think is the scariest one at the very end. But we're gonna start out with the real screams of hell. The real screams of hell. Have you guys ever heard of the audio recording of the real screams of hell? So some backstory on this, and you guys know I love this stuff. This ties into Sheol and hell being a physical place at the core of the earth, and Agartha, the tunnels into Agartha. So this is allegedly. It was later allegedly debunked and they said it was a hoax. I don't believe that. I think it's real, and I think they're just saying that to cover up what the truth is. But the real screams of hell. So in Russia, in Siberia, I think this is the Borgen hole. Was it called the Borgen hole? They drilled like 8 miles. One of the stories I heard, they said they drilled 12 miles, but I think that's wrong because the deepest we've gone is 8 miles. But it was in Russia. They drilled down 8 miles into the earth, and apparently, while they were drilling down, a pit opened up. It just opened up, boom, and there was a deep pit, and heat rushed out. Crazy hot temperatures rushed out of the hole, and they started hearing sounds. So they got a heat-resistant microphone, and they dropped it down into the hole. And this is the recording of what they heard. Strange screaming sounds were heard coming from the bottom of the hole. Here you go. Get ready. All right. Now, doesn't sound like much, but if you're a believer like I am, years later they said this was a hoax, that was the fake audio recording. But for years, and I still believe that, I think they're just trying to cover up. A lot of times they'll say something was a hoax. Sounds like a Kamala heckle. If that is real, it gives me chills listening to it because we could be hearing screams from the pits of hell. Real screams from hell. Kind of crazy. All right. So there's the first one. We got another tunnel one, though. This is a famous YouTube video, a famous creepy YouTube video. And apparently this is real footage.
It's very bizarre.
So this is called the Paris Catacombs. This is footage that was found of an urban explorer who decided to go wandering around in the catacombs of Paris. This is the footage that was found. This man was lost and his body was never found, but his footage was found. Let's watch this.
these arrows point in a direction. Occasionally also, he stops to photograph roomfuls of bones, which means that he's very, very deep inside the catacombs. So basically, he's filming what he's seeing very deep inside the catacombs, other than the point of view shots.
And this is from a TV special that they did. This is real footage.
Or pictures of human bones. The catacombs for centuries. So it is possible.
Look at this. It's like the shape of a human on a wall. This might have been where they had somebody chained up and tortured them. These are the catacombs under Paris. They would torture people, kill people. There's bones down there.
With these paintings, that we may be able to retrace his itinerary to some extent.
So he's just exploring now, but he's going to start freaking out in a second because he's lost. A lot of these catacombs, there's also catacombs where they found bodies in Ukraine that are bigger. The biggest catacomb tunnel system that they found is allegedly in Ukraine, close to the border of Ukraine and Russia, and it's just miles and miles, and there's only like three entrances / exits, and it's just miles and miles of unmapped, uncharted, dark tunnels and catacombs.
After about 4, we hear his breathing get louder and louder.
People are allowed to go down there. The one in Ukraine, there's no like fencing or guards, and people go down there to hide bodies. Homeless people get lost down there. They sleep down there and they get lost down there. People die down there all the time. The ones in Paris, I think that they're guarded, but he might have snuck in there.
As though something was scaring him. He's frightened. He's frightened. Occasionally he stops, perhaps to try to decide which way to run among all the many different corridors.
The Malta catacombs is where that school got lost. They did a field trip to the Maltan catacombs, and 30 kids went missing in those catacombs. And so now they gated it off and fenced it off. And the reporter who was reporting on the story ended up dead. And they destroyed that story. They said it was a hoax. It was a real thing that happened. None of the kids were ever found. A whole class of kids on a field trip in those catacombs went missing. None of them were ever found. And when a reporter started doing a story on it and talking about what could have happened, that reporter ended up dead. And then they said it was all a hoax. So that's how they will cover up true stories and call them hoaxes. Just like Brigitte Macomb being a man. This is more than that, Josh. This isn't the same. Paul Cook, Malta. Cool videos of underground cities under Malta where the knights were. I don't know, but I know there. Yeah, I know there's catacombs under Malta, and that's.
He's running faster and faster and faster, deeper and deeper into the catacombs. And all of a sudden,
he's panicked. He's panicked now, and he's running, which just gets you more lost, by the way. You don't want to panic. You want to put your hand on either your left or your right wall. Pick a side. Put your hand on that wall, and then start following the wall, and do not let your hand ever leave the wall. So when you go and there's a doorway, you follow that doorway, and you keep your hand on that, and you just constantly do that. If you constantly do that, you will never backtrack or circle around. You'll eventually come to an exit if you do that. It may take a very, very long time, depending on how big these tunnels are. But if you're ever lost in a tunnel system like this, that's what you do. You pick one side, put your hand on that side of the wall, and do not let your hand leave the wall. Follow that wall.
we hear his breathing get louder and louder, as though something was scaring him. He's frightened. He's frightened. Occasionally he stops, perhaps to try to decide which way to run among all the many different corridors. Whoa. He's running faster and faster.
Did you see that face?
was scaring him. He's frightened. He's frightened. Occasionally he stops, perhaps to try to decide which way to run among all the many different corridors.
There's a face right there. Hold on a second. I just noticed that.
Many different corridors.
You see it? It's like a face. I guess it's just graffitied on the wall. But that was creepy. Yeah, because see, homeless people and stuff go down here, but can't believe I caught that. Huh. So this is freaky. We're watching a dead man.
He's running faster and faster and faster, deeper and deeper into the catacombs. And all of a sudden,
Bro, that's some Blair Witch Project stuff right there in real life.
this video camera
That made me jump. That made me jump. All right, what do we have next? Here's a freaky one from Russia. Russian girl levitates in the woods. This is a well-known video on YouTube. A lot of people have seen this. Some people say it's a hoax, but we don't have a lot of information on it, on the guy who made the video and what the backstory is. It's just a freaky video. You ready? So this is a guy hunting with his dog in Russia, and he stumbles upon something a little creepy.
Тарзан! Опор! А теперь ко мне. Ко мне.
So you could tell his dog senses something. Because he's talking to his dog. His dog takes off, and his dog is looking around. His dog looks scared.
Тарзан! Ко мне, я говорю. Тарзан! Тарзан, я сказал, ко мне.
Tarzan. His dog's name is Tarzan. They use salt batteries and mercury rectifiers for DC power.
Мне. Тарзан, ко мне.
And this is what the dog just ran up to.
Что это?
This video is called Levitating Girl in the Woods.
Тихо, тихо, Тарзан. Тарзан, тихо, Тарзан.
The dog starts barking. The girl falls down. The mom grabs the girl's hand and runs. Assuming it could be the mom. I don't know.
Боже мой, что это было?
Look at her head. The way her head is oddly moving. Now, we don't know if this is done with wires. I think the video I watched, they said they've analyzed this and it's not edited footage. It's real footage. So, however, if it's a hoax, however it was done was through the use of practical effects, like wires or something. But it's not like she was, and this is old. This is from 12 years ago. It's not super old, but it was posted 12 years ago. The video could be older than 12 years. You want to float, everything floats down here, Georgie. So people have analyzed this video. There is no editing. It's not like there was a green ladder that she was standing on and they cut out the green ladder. If it's fake, there has to be some sort of wire harness rig, but then it's odd that the girl just runs away. Let's watch it one more time.
Что это? Тихо, тихо, Тарзан. Тарзан, тихо, Тарзан. Боже мой, что это было?
And you see her arm is up this way and her head is moving weirdly, but I don't see like where a wire would be or a harness. You even see her exhale in a puff of, it's cold outside. You see her exhale and the air comes out. Then the dog barks and they run. What the hell was that? I don't know, but it's a creepy YouTube video. Next. You guys are lame. You guys are no fun. Why can't you just have a little fun and watch some creepy videos instead of trying to analyze it and break it down? Well, I'll analyze it. Not real and not straight. You're not straight, Nada. You're no fun. Next. This is a famous one. You guys have probably seen this. This is Blake Room Soup. Everybody's seen this one. This is a classic. And I got a little backstory on this for you. Hear the laughing? I wish this didn't come up. So the speculation is this man is being force-fed to eat this soup. And anyway, the crazy part is that those costumes were later found in a dumpster. Or so I forget if they were found in a dumpster. And those costumes were actually designed by one of the special effects guys who worked on Wreck-It Ralph. The movie Wreck-It Ralph is the guy who made those costumes. And they asked him about it, and he said, I have no idea they were stolen. Because he made those costumes. This has been proven that he made those costumes. And then he claims they were stolen from his house. So he doesn't know what happened to them. And then they ended up in this video, which has 16 million views from 10 years ago. Or, well, no, that's a different video. Or no, yeah, that's Blank Room Soup. 16 million views in 10 years. So a lot of people have seen that video. But if he knows the truth about who made this video, nobody knows who made the video. Nobody knows if it's real or if it's just a funny video, who's laughing, who's in the video, what's going on. All we know is that those costumes were made by a guy who worked on Wreck-It Ralph. And he says they were stolen. He says he has no idea what was happening. So if it's just a funny video that they made for the internet and he was involved with it, he's not telling anybody. He might take that secret to his grave. We have another soup video. This is Fart Sopa 1995. Backstory on this. I'll save the backstory for afterwards, because you guys don't know how to have fun and just watch spooky stuff for fun on Halloween. Some of you. You never saw that before? We got another soup-related video. This is called Svartsopa 1995. I think this is from Sweden. This is a Swedish video. It's 5 minutes long. Let's watch it. This one's pretty crazy too, especially if you know about the some of the stuff with life force from scaring people. And anyway, Svartsopa means, well, I'm not going to tell you what it translates to. Svartsopa is Swedish. I think it's Swedish. I'll tell you what it translates to after. Well, let's watch this. So this is a street side. There's a building on the side of the street, and there's frosted glass, so you can't see inside. But some of the frost is coming off the glass, and they can see through into what's happening inside. Looks like we got a man here with his sleeve rolled up. Looks like we have either a short-haired woman or a child here. It looked like they were taking blood from them, right? Now we're at a party with a bunch of, looks like a high class, high society type party that we're at here now. People are dancing at the party. They're wearing suits. They're nicely dressed. Oh, now we're inside the building. So this is inside where we were just outside of. And there's music and people are dancing and partying, and they're watching what's happening on the stage. So that wasn't a child, it is a woman. People are recording. Okay, I don't want to see this part. I don't want to see this part. I don't like this. I don't want to see this part. Okay, so they're drawing blood from this guy. They're drawing blood from these people on the stage. Smoking Spaceman, what's up? Okay, so they're drawing blood from these people who are on a stage at this party, and they're putting the blood into a bowl. Now we have what looks like a recipe in Swedish. Svartsopa, 4 to 5 äpplen, apples, katrin ploma, maybe plums, 5 ounce blot, salt, Vinegar. Svartsopa. Svartsopa is blood soup.
Förstår man plötsligt varför det heter svartsoppa. Därför att färgen förändras.
Now these people in high society in Sweden are placing bowls on the table. A little red wine. Look at this lady. Look at this lady. She looked kind of like Ghislaine Maxwell type lady. Ladies and gentlemen, Svartsopa 1995. This is blood soup. Yeah, I gave a warning that this is going to be disturbing. These are some of the darkest, spookiest videos on YouTube. It's Halloween time. Now, blood soup is actually a thing. You can make blood soup. I know Hispanic people make blood soup. But this is apparently human blood soup. And the elites proceed to eat the blood soup. Okay. Now, spoiler, I know that was disturbing, but it was found out later that that was just an art project and that that's not actually, that was acting and it was just meant to be a spooky video. Allegedly. This is what they say. They say that that wasn't real, that it was just an art thing. They were actually eating blood soup, but it wasn't human blood. The blood, they did take blood from humans, but it was just, they were just taking their blood, and they did eat blood soup, but it wasn't human blood soup. Somewhere there was a cut there, and they were using animal blood, is what they say. Is what the story is, that was not real. It was just done to make a video, to make a creepy video. So just so you know, YouTube, it's not real, allegedly. But as we know, they do like to call things hoaxes that were actually real. This next one's really short. There's not a lot of backstory on it, but it is kind of freaky. This is called BHFS. It's an 8-second video. And it comes from India, I believe. And that's all we got. So The assumed backstory of this is something happened to these cattle, some sort of herd culling disease or something happened, and all these cattle died. This guy, and this is just speculation, it's assumed that this guy is the owner of these cattle, and this is a very poor country. I think it's from India. I'm not 100% sure, but basically he comes out, sees that all of his cattle are dead, and he loses his mind. He freaks out. Maybe rabies. Yeah. He freaks out. Now, are you saying maybe he has the rabies and the cows had rabies and they all have rabies? That's a possibility too. But what I've heard people guess is that basically that's his livelihood. That's how he feeds his family. That's how he makes his money. That's everything he has. That's his livelihood for the next year. You know, these cows are very important to him. He comes out and sees that the cows are dead, and he starts losing his mind because he's like, what am I going to do? I'm not going to be able to feed my family. I'm not going to be able to pay to live. I'm going to lose everything. That's everything. That's my whole world is those cows. When he sees the dead cows, he just starts losing his mind over it. But that's an interesting thought too, Matthew, that maybe he has rabies and they have rabies, and you could be right, Matthew. You could be right. Huh. That's BHFS. That's called BHFS is the name of that video. This one seems freaky, but actually has a bit of a happy ending. This is called Man Died While Standing in the Mall. Man died while standing in the mall.
Электрошоком, наверное, такой. Электрошок нам.
No, that's the full video. That's all we have of it is that 8 seconds. But so this guy looks like some Asian country. I forget. Now, there is more to this story, which I'll tell you at the end. But I forget which country it's from, but there's news. They did news reports on this. They talked about it on the local news where this happened. But I think it's it's somewhere in Asia. If you look at the people, this guy is standing frozen in the mall, and they're snapping. They're trying to get him to move. He's not moving. He's not breathing. He's just frozen, and they think he's dead.
Да нет, надо укол сделать. А какой? Ну, она же врач. Надо его на носилке понять. Просто он шел бедный. С 9 часов он стоит. Плохо ему.
And this is not a hoax. This is real. You see they're bringing in a stretcher right now. You see the security is right here. And this is 2 minutes. They say he was standing there for like 45 minutes. Totally not moving.
Давление у него нормальное? Давление нормальное. А укол почему не сделал? А?
But if you look closely, he is kind of shaking.
Нормально? Да это стопор, говорю же. Стоит-то он давно уже. С 9. Ну, я пришла, я же круги здесь делаю каждый день, он стоял. Я еще спросила, мужчина, вам плохо? Он травматик, видите? Он молчит. Стоит. Надо водичкой на голову. Сейчас вот.
So see, the medics are behind him, putting a stretcher behind him. Hungarian.
Ничего себе, он как деревянный.
Now, see, they lowered him back, and he's stiff as a board. Look at that. His legs aren't bending. His arms aren't bending. When they laid him back, he's totally stiff. So the title of the video is "Man Died While Standing in the Mall." Backstory on that, what really happened. So they thought he was dead. They thought he was dead. When they got him to the hospital, they found out that he wasn't dead. He was in he had a rare case of what's called alcoholic stupor, which basically means he drank too much and his body seized up and locked up. And alcoholic stupor happens when your blood alcohol content is 0.40. So to get a DUI, you have to be 0.08. So he was like 5 times over the legal limit to drink. And that's the explanation I saw from the news report. They said alcoholic stupor, 5 times over the legal limit in America. He was extremely, extremely drunk, and you can die from that. You can die from that, but they were able to get him to the hospital, pump his stomach, and save him. So that guy is still alive. He wasn't dead. 0.05 where you're at looked like some sort of paralytic seizure. Yeah, basically that's kind of what it is, but it was due to alcoholic stupor. And that guy's still alive. He didn't actually die. So, all right, but that's until we get to the end, where I'll play what I think is the spookiest thing on YouTube. Now we're going to go into some channels. So we're going to talk about some YouTube channels, and we'll watch more videos. But first, we're going to talk about some channels. So first, we're going to talk about Dolly Flesh. Have you guys ever heard of Dolly Flesh? Dolly Flesh was an animator on YouTube. His channel's been taken down, but there are archive channels. So here's Dolly Flesh Archives. Here's some archives of some of his videos, and he did creepy animated videos like Lisa. So he would animate videos like that. This is one of his most famous animated videos. And they started off kind of innocent, but they slowly got more and more deranged. So this is called Homicidal Maniac. This one's not too bad. This is this one's not too bad, B-wise. He did claymation, he did animated videos, but then as his channel went on, the animations got more and more deranged, and they started depicting murders and grapes and stuff like that. So, as you'll see here in a second, To Dad, if you want to live, meet me outside at the public bathroom and don't think of me feeling sorry for you. So anyway, it's just a claymation. Stop motion animation, claymation. Stuff like that. So Dolly Flesh did videos like that, which, you know, I used to make stop motion animation videos that had people beating each other up. And I used to draw some pretty messed up things when I was a kid. But, you know, doesn't necessarily mean you're disturbed or evil or anything like that. It wasn't until Dolly Flesh put out this video, which has been re-uploaded on YouTube, which I'm going to show it because there's nothing bad that happens in the video, just so that I can tell you the story. I'm not. The reason his channel got taken down is because what he did off of his channel. So this is One Kid, Three Hamsters.
So I recently purchased some hamsters from Pets.
Now, don't worry, guys. He's not going to do anything with these hamsters in this video, and I'm not going to play the whole thing. But this is Dolly Flesh, who usually did animation videos, but then he puts out this video, One Kid, Three Hamsters.
Smart. Oops.
So he just got 3 pet hamsters.
Sorry.
But he'll say some strange things.
I got 3 of them. I haven't thought of names yet. I'm not so good with names because I can't keep them. Make up my mind when it comes to names. Fuck. Shit. So I decided to start giving them some food because they were trying to escape. Thought I was recording, but then it didn't record, so yeah. I decided to...
So anyway, the description for this video, this is a re-upload because his channel got taken down, but the description for the video, so the YouTube description for the video was pinned, stabbed, and microwaved. So the video is called One Kid, Three Hamsters, and the description in the YouTube video description said pinned, stabbed, and microwaved. But in the video, you don't see anything. You see the hamsters, they're in their cage. He's recording them as I think the hamsters were humping at one point, and he's recording it. Well, come to find out, Kelowna hamster killer handed conditional sentence not allowed in pet stores. Leighton LeBeau appeared in Kelowna court on Wednesday after pleading guilty early this year. The Kelowna man who tortured and killed 3 hamsters has been sentenced to an 18-month condition sentence following 3 years of probation. He was charged in May 2020 after social media posts made a year earlier surfaced of an incident that depicted him torturing hamsters. Stabbed, pinned, and microwaved. One of them he treated like a pin cushion with a bunch of pins. One of them he stabbed. One of them he put in the microwave. And he lost his YouTube channel. He got probation. He had an Instagram account with 7,000 followers. And on Instagram, he put the pictures. YouTube account under LeBeau's name contains similar content as well as vulgar discussions of his sexual fantasies, some involving sex dolls. One video on that account titled One Kid, Three Hamsters shows a man with 3 hamsters he'd recently purchased. So, yeah. So that's what, and this was on YouTube for a while. Yeah, those hamsters, RIP those hamsters. They didn't make it. Let's see some stuff. Okay. Next, we have a channel. Now, this channel, there's no dark background to this channel. This is a channel called 00390. 00390. It's got 52,000 subscribers. Now, as far as we know, whoever runs this channel, they're not a murderer. They don't have some evil backstory. But if you want to see a freaky freaking YouTube channel, here's just an example of one of 00390's videos.
Did you ever consider what would have happened if any of these substances were given to, say, unwitting people?
Oh, I don't remember having considered that specifically.
I trust perhaps you've thought about it.
Your question again, what would I have thought had I known that
Any of these substances would
have been given to
testing it out on an American citizen?
And that's it. That's it. 00390 has a lot of videos that are just weird sounds and stuff. Like this video just shows a staircase with some creepy noise. This video is a picture of a girl with blood on her. And nobody knows is this like a serial killer who is posting real stuff, or is this all just for like artistic horror movie type stuff? Is it all fake? Is it all real? Nobody knows. This video is 1 minute and 51 seconds, and it's just a picture of this girl tied to a chair. Nobody knows. I mean, we assume that it's just fake. That it's just done for artistic purposes. But a lot of the videos are just pictures like this. Like, and nobody knows what this is. Like, the channel is just called 00390. Then some of them, we don't know if he's showing us scenes from a murder or what we're seeing. But it's a very creepy YouTube channel. Flashback. I don't know. Creepy channel. Okay, before we go to I think we'll have to play this in the after party, but the uncanny police sketches. And this guy's video is too cheery. I don't like his voice. It sounds too happy, but one thing I will show you guys. So, if you want to see the creepiest, freakiest, darkest stuff on YouTube, I'm about to give you a trick. There is a way. You guys were talking about rotten.com earlier. It's not as extreme as rotten.com, okay? It's not as bad as rotten.com, but YouTube has a dark side. YouTube has a whole deep, dark part of it where videos get posted of things that probably shouldn't be on YouTube. But there's a workaround so that the videos can't be reported because they have to be manually reported. And in order to manually report them, you have to title them properly. You have to match the title. So what they'll do is they'll make these videos with like 100 characters in their title. And they're all crazy symbols and crazy letters. And and things like that. And they become hard to report. You have to find them, and then you have to put the title in and manually report them. If you want to find these, all you do, go to your search bar, put a period, just a period, and hit enter. And you will be on the dark side of YouTube. This is called full stop punctuation. There are videos on here. You know, some of them are just weird ones like this. Like this one's scary, but then it's kind of funny. Take my headphones off because I know what's coming. He just farted and fell down the stairs. Some of them are just weird ones like this.
You sexy thing, you. I believe in miracles. She came along, you sexy thing.
That's actually true, Matthew. That's actually true. They did do it so that if kids just hit the keyboard, they stumble upon these channels. You're right. And a lot of them look like they're marketed towards kids, like this one, but they'll hide like subliminal messages in these. But then you find some, you know, there's a lot of creepy, weird stuff. Some of these are like cartoons, but then if you watch them, and I think YouTube got rid of a lot of them. And now look, if you type it in period, my stream comes up. Okay, so see like this one.
The only girl I ever loved.
So you see the title of this? Look at the title here. Period, period, period. OSU da 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 da. But allegedly some of these have actual on-screen like deaths. There's the soup one. So this is full stop punctuation. There's some creepy stuff on here. It looks like they cleaned a lot of it up so that they're not actually showing you dead people. There's a lot of freaky stuff. Some of it's just weird like this. I don't know. Anyway, you want to see the creepiest, weirdest, freakiest stuff on YouTube, just put a period in your search bar and hit enter. Okay. The uncanny police sketches, we're not going to spend a lot of time on this. But some police sketches are very
Ja, ich will auch für die anderen leiden, damit die nicht in die Hölle kommen und so. Aber das ist
Oh, no, we don't want to play that one yet. We don't want to play that one yet. We're saving that one for last. That's the freakiest one. This is uncanny police sketches.
The uncanny valley can be defined as the phenomenon in which a computer-generated figure or humanoid robot bearing a near-identical resemblance to a human being arouses a sense of unease or revulsion in the person viewing it. Examples can be wax figures, dolls, bad CGI, whatever this is, and even police sketches. While the majority of facial composites look rather normal, you know, something along the lines of this, in recent years, some more disturbing police...
That was the Unabomber. Look at some of these police sketches, and it's crazy to find out that some of these, the people were actually found. Some of them are victims, and some of them are killers.
Sketches have risen in popularity, mainly due to the whole uncanny valley thing I was...
So this girl right here, this was a famous one. This picture was used in a horror video game. This girl was a girl that went missing, and her body was later found. Her murderer was later found, and she was identified by her family because of this picture, because they saw the cheekbones, and their daughter had went missing, and they said, "We think that's our daughter." And so this is a crazy police sketch that looks not even like a human, but this girl was, well, her body was found. I found my kids watching some of this crap, and I deleted every video app I could find, and I password protected everything.
Was just talking about. Believe it or not, images like this aren't just a result of some creepypasta or something similar.
That's a real life police sketch. And the girl, her body was found, and she was identified because of this police sketch. But it looks nothing like her. It's crazy. These police sketches are freaky.
This was actually used to try and find a real human person.
Oh, they
Throughout
did find
this video, I'll be covering some of the most recognized and popular Uncanny Valley police sketches, so be sure to stay tuned after a word from our sponsor. Found the man standing in a room.
So I've never seen this one.
The man approached and hit the woman across the face, knocking her to the ground, police said. The man then ran out of the house with the woman's belongings. Police said that this article sucks. The woman did not know if the man had a vehicle. Police said the homeowner...
So I had never seen that one. I haven't seen this one either. These are just freaky police sketches.
Further investigation reveals that the image is a police sketch of a serial rapist, last seen in Maui, Hawaii.
So, ever since the entire topic of Herodotus went viral about 4 years ago, we've pretty much known the origin of this photo. As you can see in Jorge's video, he was a Hawaiian rapist. But let's dig just a little deeper than that. It's at this point in my video, by the way, that some dark and more disturbing stuff is going to be talked about. Pretty bad. And the origins for this one are actually pretty disturbing.
Oh, we gotta add.
Isn't even a police sketch, but rather what's known as a facial reconstruction. In the case that I'm going to be talking about, we have to go back to June 5th, 2014, when the body of a missing woman called Jenny Gomez was identified. Jenny Gomez had been missing...
So that's the real girl. And they identified her with the police sketch.
For over 2 years at the time, alongside another woman, Laura Simonson. They had both met up with a man named Steven Zelich through the internet, but were unfortunately murdered in the process. Steven was a former police officer, and for whatever twisted reason, he decided to take the lives of these two women, and then managed to dump their remains on the side of a road in suitcases. Whenever the suitcases would be found, the bodies were obviously not in good shape, because, you know, dead people decompose, it's not a fun thing to think about. But that being said, Laura's body would be identified rather quickly through her dental records, but Jenny, at the time, was completely untraceable, which led to the creation of this rather unsettling picture. The point of this image and picture similar to this is to highlight the predominant facial features of a person's face. For instance, this picture has a heavy emphasis on the crooked teeth, thin nose, and cheekbones, and the end result is pretty uncanny. Thankfully though, this image was broadcasted on the news and shared around in different ways, and the parents of Jenny Gomez would actually come forward and confirm that this was their missing daughter, all thanks to this picture. Side by side, you can see the similarities, and it was...
What do you mean? She doesn't even have big cheekbones or a thin nose. Teeth are accurate.
It was thankfully a useful facial reconstruction. As far as the dude who absolutely sucks in this story, he's currently in prison for life, and rest in peace to...
17. The article reads as...
Look at that. So these are just freaky police sketches. What the heck? I could draw a better freaking sketch than that. Anyway, so uncanny police sketches are pretty weird. There's some weird ones out there. All right, before we wrap up the stream, I'm going to play what I think is, it's not a video, it's an audio recording. And if you go back, if you find the episode I did about real life exorcisms, I talked about this story and I played this before, I think. If you guys have ever seen the movie The Exorcism of Emily Rose, it's based off of a true story. It's based off of the story of Annalise Michel. So, Annalise Michel was alleged. Well, okay, how do I explain? So, Annalise Michel is a true story of a girl who, according to the news and how they portrayed it, she had some mental issues. She had some medical problems. She needed medication. She needed psychiatric help. But the psychiatric help and the meds and all that stuff wasn't working. And the family was very religious. So the family thought she had a demon in her. And that the medication wasn't helping. The psychiatry wasn't helping. So the family took her off her medicine. And they started having priests come in to perform exorcisms on her. And I think she went through something like 235 serious extreme exorcisms. And she ended up dying. She ended up dying, and they said the family got charged. I think the priest even got charged. Some of the priests involved got charged. For what they say was harming this girl and neglecting this girl by not giving her her medication, not giving her the help she needs. They charged the people involved like they murdered the girl by taking the medication from her and stuff away. Here's the crazy part, though. I think she was demon possessed because while she was having her what they call like schizophrenic or psychotic outbreaks or freakouts or whatever they want to call them, she would speak in different languages that she could not know, like Latin and Hebrew, ancient languages that nobody speaks, dead languages. She would suddenly be fluent in these languages and speak them. Her voice, the tone of her voice would totally change, and multiple voices would come out of her. As many as 6 voices, different voices were coming out of this girl in different languages that there's no way she could have known. And that's why they thought she was demon possessed. And that's why they were trying to exorcise her. And it didn't work. She ended up dying. And the parents and the priests involved were all charged with neglect, harmful neglect that led to death, blah, 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 all these different charges. And the way the story is portrayed is that these were abusive, crazy people who killed this girl because they took her off her meds. Now, I don't know how schizophrenia or a psychotic break can explain 6 different voices in different languages that nobody speaks coming out of a girl. But this is the true story that they based the movie The Exorcism of Emily Rose off of, which was that on John and Mayhem's horror movie list, because I think that's one of my favorite scary movies. I love that movie. That movie is based off of a true story. This is the true story. And guess what? They recorded audio during some of the exorcisms. And this is one of the freakiest things I've ever heard. I've played it before on the show. Do your, Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Oh, wait, how's it go? Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Do your crosses. Say all your Hail Marys. Do your Our Fathers, because put up your barriers, because this, I believe, this is audio of a demon-possessed girl in the midst of a real-life exorcism, and this gets pretty crazy. So, Annalise Michel audio. 6 Demons Possession audio tape. You ready? The Real Exorcism of Annalise Michel. I'm out. Back later. Yeah, sorry, B-Wise. This is normal.
Ja, ich will auch für die anderen leiden, damit die nicht in die Hölle kommen und so. Aber dass das dann so schlimm ist und so grausam und so furchtbar, nee. Das denkt man leiden, das ist so leicht zu haben. Wenn es dann wirklich schlimm wird, da will man überhaupt nicht mehr, da will mein Kind schlafen.
And now we can finally hear the voices of all 6 demons that possessed Annalise. The demon of Hitler.
Ihr Klötze! Nein, ihr Klötze! Und der Maul, ihr Klötze! Oh, so der will auch nicht, oh, ich geh auch nicht, oh.
Sind wir schon 3?
That's German.
Was ist so der Schwein?
Cain, the demon that possessed Cain.
Kind Gottes.
Ich hab dein Maul erschlagen!
Namen des
Nero.
Ruhe gibt's nur da oben!
Ruhe gibt's nur dort, wo die Liebe ist.
Ja, bei uns gibt's nur, ja, no.
Nur Hass.
Ja.
Und wo nur Hass ist, da gibt's keine Ruhe.
Nein. Und für
Still
uns
speaking
gibt's
German.
nie Ruhe. Nie.
Weil
Ewigkeit.
Fleischmann. Judas.
Die müssen in eigenen Seminaren ausgebildet werden, die dürfen nicht auf die anderen Universitäten. Kapiert?
Klar. Ist da sonst noch etwas zu sagen?
Weil
der Teufel größere Macht.
And Lucifer.
im Namen deines seligen Jungfrau, im Namen Jesu, befehle ich dir auszufahren. Im Namen des dreifaltigen Gottes, des im Namen des dreifaltigen Geistes, befehle ich dir auszufahren und nicht
Damn. That's crazy. I don't think they had any recordings there of her speaking in other languages, but they have all sorts of audio recordings. Her last words as herself were, "Mom, I'm scared." Lord help us all after hearing this. God, please protect me and my soul and everyone in the comments listening to this. Sunlight is the best disinfectant. That's what I say. Can't do battle with something you don't believe in or you don't even understand or are afraid of. The way you do battle with them is you call them out by name. You expose it. So If you didn't like that, I noticed we lost some people there. I know a lot of people probably didn't like that. It's not the first time I've played that on the stream, though. I did a whole stream talking about real life exorcisms and why I believe in demons and I believe in exorcisms. There's a lot of stuff like this, a lot of exorcisms on tape, videos of people lifting up off the bed, arching their back where it looks like their back is broken, and you just watch their body degenerate like rapidly, speaking weird languages, their voices change, knowing things about history that they couldn't possibly know, and saying things that are happening that they couldn't know possibly. All sorts of stories like that. And if you don't like that stuff, I understand. I get it. I totally get it. But I ain't afraid of no demons. They can't prevail. They can't prevail. I want to know my enemy so I can pick up a sword and cut its head off. Not good stuff. Sounds like ordering from the McDonald's drive-thru back in the day. Is it bad that this is cracking you up? Probably. Yeah, it's probably bad. All right, guys. That's it for the show. There's other spooky stories. There's other stuff. I didn't even go over Let Duty Guide You, which is a YouTube channel that still exists to this day. I didn't talk about A Frost. I didn't talk about Let Duty Guide Me. Let Duty Guide Me is a YouTube channel of a girl that it's still up. She was planning to do a mass shooting, and she got arrested, and she's doing life in prison. She never even did the shooting, but she got life in prison just for planning it. She's doing life in prison, and her YouTube channel is still up. There's a channel called Frost A. Maybe I'll show you in the after party of a kid in Florida, and his videos are still up. His channel's still up. He ate his neighbor. He ran into his neighbor's garage. What they say was a schizophrenic fit. He was having a fit of schizophrenia, and he ran into his neighbor's garage, and he beat the woman to death, and then he beat and stabbed the man to death, and then proceeded to eat him. And when the cops came, he was had incredible strength, like excited delirium, incredible strength, and he was throwing the cops around while he was eating this guy. And they said that 3 cops were trying to get him off, and he just kept eating this guy. And he actually got the insanity plea in Florida, and he's not even in prison. He's in a mental asylum, but his YouTube channel is still up to this day, and you can watch videos of him, and you can kind of watch him progress into insanity. There's a video on YouTube that is an audio recording of a guy doing a corpse. Lots of weird stuff on YouTube, but maybe we can look at a little bit of that. I'm not going to play the one with the corpse. Even though you don't really hear anything, I listened to it, and you can't, it's nothing. You don't really hear anything. But just the backstory on it's kind of crazy. But I will show you the Frost Guy's channel, because it's kind of interesting. And the court case was crazy. We'll talk about all that in the after party, touch on it. Discord will be open, and we'll start carving this pumpkin. I got to draw and start carving it. What do y'all think Josh should dress up for as Halloween? Only dressing up I'm doing is wearing this mask. This mask was 98 cents. Oh, I gotta go, guys. I gotta walk out, go get some beers. Where's my music at? Guys, it is spooky time. It is Halloween. Halloween spooky time. More spooky Halloween goodness coming up in the Dreaded Conservative after party. Check back in about 30 minutes, 10 o'clock my time. It's 9:30 right now. I'm going to take my dog for a walk. And I will be back. Open Discord panel. More spooky stories. Pumpkin carving. All that coming up soon. The world's a crazy place. I just report on it. Hit up the super chats. Hit up the Cash App, $Dreaded Conservative. Hit the like button if you haven't. All contributions to the channel are appreciated, but not expected. But definitely, I expect you to hit the like button. At the very least, you got to at least hit the like button. If you haven't yet, make sure you do it on your way out. I will be back in just a little bit. Watch for the thumbnail going up soon. And I'll talk to you guys later.